In today's video, we're going to be going through and discussing the entire Dark Brotherhood story and questline featured in the Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion. In the end, we discuss our thoughts and opinions on the quests, the faction as a whole, and what we did or didn't like. This video is a compilation of the 4 parts already put out. I hope you enjoy it. In order to even be contacted by the Dark Brotherhood, we have to do one small yet game-altering task. We have to murder an innocent civilian. The term innocent is a little loose here, as all that matters is that we would in theory incur a bounty off of the kill, but the NPC themselves could be anyone from a harmless beggar to one of the more corrupt or unfriendly citizens. A few suggestions for easy kills would be the adoring fan who follows us around at the end of the arena questline, Agranak Gromalag, aka the Grey Prince, after telling him he's the spawn of a vampire, Glarthir, the disturbed wood elf during the quest Paranoia, or Umbra and Vindicel before accepting the Clavicus Vile Daedric Shrine quest would be some really great examples to just name a few, and no fines would need to be paid for their murders if done correctly. We personally got our civilian kills from the quest, The Great Divide, during the Shivering Isles side quest video, which is also a great one to do. To demonstrate further, we went to Walker Camp near Lord Rugdump's estate as it has Kamonatang thugs whom, if attacked first, will give us the notification we're looking for. We'll know we've killed the appropriate targets when we receive a strange notification saying your killing has been observed by forces unknown. At this point, we wouldn't quite know what to do with this information. However, if you've inquired enough about the rumors of Cyrodiil, someone would have told us that the Dark Brotherhood contacts murderers in their sleep. Regardless, sleeping is inevitable for leveling up, so at some point we would have went ahead, found a bedroll, and gotten some rest. No matter the time length we put in, it leaps down to 1, and we're informed that the air grows chill and a shadow approaches.
You sleep rather soundly for a murderer. That's good. You'll need a clear conscience for what I'm about to propose. In due time, dear child, in due time. First, an introduction. I am Lucian Lechance, speaker for the Dark Brotherhood. And you are a cold-blooded killer, capable of taking life without mercy or remorse. The Night Mother has been watching, and she is most pleased. And so, here I am. I come to you with an offering, an opportunity to join our rather unique family. I find your etiquette refreshing. Now please, listen carefully. On the green road to the north of Breville lies the Inn of Ill Omen. There you will find a man named Rufio. Kill him, and your initiation into the Dark Brotherhood will be complete. Do this, and the next time you sleep in a location I deem secure, I will reveal myself once more, bearing the love of your new family. Excellent. Now please, accept this token from the Dark Brotherhood. It is a virgin blade and thirsts for blood. May it serve your endeavors well. Now, I bid you farewell. I do hope we'll meet again soon. Have you not heard of the Dark Brotherhood? Of the remorseless guild of paid assassins and homicidal cutthroats? Join us, and you'll find the Dark Brotherhood to be all that and so much more. We are, more than anything, a union of like-minded individuals. We kill for profit, for enjoyment, and for the glory of the dread Father Sithis. We are family, with bonds forged in blood and death. We praise our unholy matron. From her shadowed womb we were born. From her breast we suckle malice and pain. She loves her children, you see. Know that Rufio is old and weak and sleeps his days away. You could kill him before he even has a chance to wake, if you so choose. Yes, I am a speaker, a representative of the Dark Brotherhood. My voice is the voice of the Black Hand, our organization's ruling body. One of my duties is to find exceptional individuals, such as yourself, and offer a place within our family.
This very creepy and very sinister looking man named Lucien Lachance woke us up and offered us initiation into the infamous and evil faction of the Dark Brotherhood. Many people refute the existence of this guild as it is simply too twisted and malicious to be real, but alas, it's very real. In order to actually get into the guild, we must go and technically carry out our very first assignment. We're to travel to the Inn of Ill Omen in search of an old man named Rufio and kill him. We already have the inn discovered on our map, which is just south of the Imperial City. Fast traveling over and entering inside, we can speak with a few locals to get some info on Rufio.
Hail, friend. Good to see you again. What can old Mannheim help you with? Rufio? He's an old codger. Been living here for a couple of weeks now. If you ask me, he's hiding from something. But what do I care? He pays his tab. His room is downstairs, in what I like to call the private quarters. Use that hatch in the floor over there, but don't expect a warm reception.
Hello, stranger. We don't get many visitors around here. Makes things pretty lonely for me, if you know what I mean. Not a lot to tell. He doesn't much like company, and spends most of his time in his room. Mannheim thinks he's hiding out from someone.
Now it's time to find the marked man. As Mannheim Malhand told us, he's hiding out in the basement portion of the inn. We go down there in search of him. We find the old man laying down and resting, just as Lucien said we would. We could easily strike him down in his sleep, but we savor the moment and wake him up.
Who are you? What do you want? I ain't done nothing. No, please. I didn't mean to do it, you understand me? She struggled. I told her to just stay still, but she wouldn't listen. I had no choice.
Rufio, old yet agile, attempts to run upstairs to get help, but before he makes it out, we cut him down with our sword, sending him to the void for Sithis. We get a quest update, and it's time to once again rest and let Lucien Lachance come to us. We rent a bed at the very same inn, and sleep for very little before we're woken up.
So, the deed is done. How do I know this? You'll find that the Dark Brotherhood knows a great many things, for you are now part of the family. Indeed. For the slaying of Rufio was the signing of a covenant, the manner of execution, your signature. Rufio's blood, the ink. As a speaker of the Black Hand, I directly oversee a particular group of family members. You will join that group and fulfill any contracts given. You must now go to the city of Cheydinhal, to the abandoned house near the eastern wall. Enter the basement and attempt to open the black door. You will be asked a question. Answer thusly. Sanguine, my brother. You will gain entrance to the sanctuary. Once inside, speak with Ochiva. We must now take our leave of each other, you and I, for there is much work to be done. I'll be following your progress. Welcome to the family. Rufio lies dead. Well done. The family will now welcome you with open arms. Know this, Every dark brother and sister is a child of Sithis. He whom we call Sithis has many other names. Chaos, Doom, Discord. Sithis is the Void. We of the Dark Brotherhood serve the Night Mother, who is the bride of Sithis. The Night Mother rules her children with a terrible black hand. The Black Hand is the ruling body of the Dark Brotherhood. It is made up of one listener and 4 speakers. 4 fingers and a thumb, if you will. As a member of the Dark Brotherhood, you must abide by the 5 tenets. They are the laws that guide and protect us. The 5 tenets are as follows. Tenet 1. Never dishonor the Night Mother. To do so is to invoke the wrath of Sithis. Tenet 2. Never betray the Dark Brotherhood or its secrets. To do so is to invoke the wrath of Sithis. Tenet 3. Never disobey or refuse to carry out an order from a Dark Brotherhood superior. To do so is to invoke the wrath of Sithis. Tenet 4. Never steal the possessions of a Dark Brother or Dark Sister. To do so is to invoke the wrath of Sithis. Tenet 5. Never kill a Dark Brother or Dark Sister. To do so is to invoke the wrath of Sithis. How does one best describe our dread Father? Imagine a perfect, cloudless midnight, cold as winter ice and shrouded in shadow. That is Sithis.
Lucien has officially welcomed us into the Dark Brotherhood and has informed us of where the sanctuary is and how to get into it. We fast travel over to Shadenhall and make our way over to the long-forgotten, abandoned house. Entering inside, it's completely run down and beaten up. We make our way into the basement where we see a hole in the foundation leading to somewhere. Taking that path and rounding the corner, we're met with a pretty scary sight. The hallway begins to glow red. Blood puddles that look like someone has been dragged through them lead all the way up to a door like we've never seen before. It looks ancient, mystical, and evil. It has a skull with a hand etched into the top of it. Below is a woman holding a knife out to what looks like 5 toddlers. Perhaps the most unsettling are the noises that come from this door. We interact with it like Lucien told us to.
What is the color of night?
And just like that, we're led inside of the Dark Brotherhood sanctuary. Taking a few steps in, we're quickly approached by our contact, Oshiva.
Greetings, brother, greetings. I am Oshiva, mistress of this sanctuary. Lucien has told me all about you. I welcome you to the Dark Brotherhood. You stand now in our sanctuary. May it serve as your new home, a place of comfort and security whenever the need arises. When you're ready for work, go and speak with Vicente Valtieri. He handles all assignments for new family members. But before you go, please accept this gift from your new family. A unique set of armor, lighter than normal leather and black as the void. Now, I've kept you long enough. Vicente is waiting. You'll find him in his quarters. Go now, my child, and may Sithis go with you. Lucien isn't here very often. His duties with the Black Hand keep him very busy, so he trusts me to keep the sanctuary in order. Ours is not the only Dark Brotherhood sanctuary. There are others hidden throughout Cyrodiil, each one overseen by a speaker of the Black Hand.
We're fully merged into the Dark Brotherhood and have even received their uniform of sorts. The shrouded armor has a weight of 2, an armor rating of 6, and the enchantments of Fortify Sneak, Illusion, Marksman, Blade, and Acrobatics all for 8 points. The shrouded hood has a weight of 0.5, an armor rating of 1, and the enchantments of fortifying the same skills as the armor does, this time with 2 points. With that, thus ends the quest, A Knife in the Dark. Now it's time to go and seek out another contact in the faction named Vicente Valtieri. As we walk along the tunnels to his room, we get a glimpse of our brothers and sisters within the guild, all seemingly coming from different backgrounds and walks of life. We enter into Vicente's quarters to see none other than a vampire. At first, it's quite a shock, but we see that he's passive and quite friendly. We speak with him.
Warmest greetings to you. I trust you've already spoken with Ochiva. I am Vicente Valtieri. I provide assignments for all new family members. Please do not let my appearance unnerve you. The needs and tenets of the Dark Brotherhood come before my own needs as a vampire. Now, if you're ready to get to work, I can provide you with your first contract. I was stricken with vampirism 300 years ago while on an expedition deep into the ashlands of Vardenfell. For nearly 100 years I hunted in secret, until the Dark Brotherhood found me. Now I have a family that accepts and even values my unique gifts. Perhaps in the future, when I feel you have earned the right, I will offer you a chance to become a hunter of the night. A contract is a secret pact one enters into with the Dark Brotherhood. They provide us with gold, and we remove someone from existence. A contract is fulfilled by a skilled assassin such as yourself, who keeps the Dark Brotherhood's end of the bargain. So it has always been. While carrying out a contract, you may have the opportunity to earn a bonus if certain parameters are met. Now, let's begin, shall we? I'm not sure how you feel about pirates, but you've got to kill one. A captain, in fact, on his ship, surrounded by his crew. Interested? Excellent. Here is what you must do. Go to the waterfront district of the Imperial City. There you will find a ship named the Marie Elena. Board the ship and find its captain, Gaston Tussaud. He'll be in his cabin. Eliminate Tussaud in any manner you see fit. The pirates have been moving a lot of cargo on board lately. You may be able to smuggle yourself on board in one of the packing crates. Oh, and one more thing. Get into the habit of asking your fellow family members about any current contract. Their insight may prove invaluable. As a pirate, Gaston Tussaud has certainly spilled his share of blood. Someone wants revenge, and they've hired us to extract it. When I first joined the family, this sanctuary was controlled by another speaker. Lucienne took over when she was killed while fulfilling a contract. The Night Mother speaks to only one member of the Dark Brotherhood, the Listener of the Black Hand. And when Our Lady speaks, death follows. This sanctuary has been here since before even I joined the Dark Brotherhood, and that was 200 years ago. Sithis is the darkness of time immemorial. He is no Daedra and dwells not in the realm of Oblivion. No, Sithis is something altogether different.
We've received our first official contract from within the guild, to kill Gaston Tussaud, a pirate captain based out of the Imperial City waterfront. As suggested by Vicente, we decided to speak with some fellow guildmates to make introductions and see what advice they can offer us for our first contract.
Welcome to the family. I'd hug you, but Ochiva told me not to. So, your first contract. No chance for a bonus, huh? Oh, that's all right. You're better off. Who needs magic items when you've got raw skill? And the great thing about killing a target up close and personal is you can talk to him before you do it. You know, say something scary. Oh, for example, this one time, I had a contract to kill a little Nord girl at her birthday party. She asked me if I was the jester. So I said to her, "No, I am a messenger of death." You should have seen the look on her face. Anyway, she won't be seeing age 6.
Warmest welcomes to you. I am Telendril, Wood Elf, and loyal daughter of Sithis. I hope you find our sanctuary to your liking. Pirates, eh? They tend to be quick and good with a blade, but don't favor armor. They're not fond of bows or spells either.
I see you've accepted the contract from Vicente. Very good. With every life you take, Sithis grows stronger and the Brotherhood flourishes. I killed a pirate once. Of course, the ship was out to sea at the time, somewhere between Vardenfell and Solstheim. Now those were the days.
With that, it's now time to head to the Imperial City and scope out our target. We leave the sanctuary and the abandoned house, then fast travel over to the waterfront. Making our way to the northwestern side, we see the ship Maria Elena. Normally, there would be about 3 or so pirates loading cargo onto the deck, and if they were to see us set foot onto the vessel, they would attack us on sight. However, these pirates were taken care of a long time ago, so we can set foot onto the ship with no problems. Otherwise, stowing away on the cargo like Vicente suggested would be a great idea. Walking up to the captain's cabin, the door is unlocked, and we enter inside. Sitting at a table in the dining area is Gaston himself. We approach and confront the captain.
You ain't one of me crew. What business you be having here, mate? What in blazes? You ain't one of me crew. You best start explaining yourself, mate, if you want to get off this ship alive. What are you, some kind of preacher or something? One of them crazies from the church? I ain't got time for this.
Gaston gets up from his seat and takes out his sword. A battle ensues, however, Tussaud really isn't much of a match for our enchanted madness sword, and his health quickly depletes. Within no time, the captain lays dead on the floors of his ship. We get a quest update that it's time to return to Vicente and for our reward.
Captain Tussaud, are you all right, sir? We heard a clamor.
We don't have long before the other pirates get inside to see what we've done. So, if we want to avoid a fight, it's best we loot everything quickly and leave through the back door. Otherwise, 2 more pirates come barging in and we have to pick them off as well. No matter what we choose, there is no penalty either way, so the pirates could be good for gaining more experience. We fast travel back to Shadenhall, enter the sanctuary, and speak with Vicente.
So, the pirate has been eliminated. Excellent. No one will mourn his passing, and Sithis has been appeased. Please accept this black band as your reward. It is a ring whose powers are quite useful to those who value discretion.
Vicente gives us an enchanted ring called the Black Band as our reward. It has the enchantments of Fortify Light Armor and Security for 13 points each, as well as Resist Magic for 13% on self, thus ending the quest, a watery grave. We return back to Vicente to receive our next contract.
I'm glad you've returned. The contract is waiting, if you're ready. We need you to stage an accident. Kill the target in the manner specified, and you'll receive a considerable bonus. Do you accept this contract? As I expected. Good. The target is a wood elf named Bainlin. You will find him at his home in Bruma. Enter secretly and avoid his manservant, Grom. On the 2nd floor is a secret door leading to a crawl space. Inside are the fastenings of a mounted head that hangs over Bainlin's favorite chair. Loosen those fastenings any night between 8 p.m. and 11 p.m., and the head will surely fall on Bainlin as he relaxes in his chair, as is his custom. If Bainlin is eliminated in any other manner, or if the manservant Grom is killed, you will forfeit the bonus. Now go, and may Sithis be with you.
Before we set out, we speak with some fellow guildmates to see what advice they can offer us on this contract.
If things go badly, forgo the plan and simply kill the mark any way you can. You'll lose the bonus, but at least the contract will be fulfilled.
If the target is old and weak, as you say, then his manservant is sure to be quite the opposite. Best stay out of his way.
How do you plan on entering this man's house? Through the front door? Be smart and look for a more inconspicuous way in, like a cellar entrance.
Now it's time to travel to Bruma to assassinate our next mark, Bainlin the Old Wood Elf. This is the first quest where we have the opportunity to receive a bonus on top of our standard reward. We have to make sure that Bainlin is killed in a manner that makes it look like an accident, as well as we have to steer clear of his manservant, Grom. Antoinetta gave us a great suggestion of entering into Bainlin's house through a cellar, if he has one, which he does. We enter inside and are in the basement. The coast is clear, so we move up to the main area. Here, we're positioned across from the stairs. Bainlin is sitting in his chair right around the corner from us, and Grom is nowhere to be found. We quietly sneak upstairs, almost being noticed by Bainlin at one point, and make our way into his bedroom. Here, there are some boards that can be removed that lead to a crawl space just behind Bainlin's seat. We maneuver through them and find ourselves at the Minotaur's head on display above Bainlin. We loosen the fastenings and hear him get crushed. We receive a quest update that it's time to go and return back to Vicente for our reward. We quietly sneak back out and make our way to the main level. We see Grom standing over the body of Bainlin, hammer in hand, and extremely alert. We move very slowly back to the basement and exit the way we came in. From here, we fast travel back to Shaden Hall, enter the sanctuary, and seek out Vicente.
So, the accident has been staged and Bainlin lies dead. Well done. You have more than earned your reward and bonus. I present to you this dagger. It's an enchanted blade known as Sufferthorn. Its prick is deadly, I assure you. Yes, you are quite an asset to this sanctuary. In fact, I believe you are ready for advancement. I hereby appoint you Slayer. Well done. Now go, child of Sithis. Go and rest. You'll need it.
We've been promoted to the rank of Slayer, received our standard reward of gold, and even got a bonus from the contract. We're given the enchanted dagger called Sufferthorn, which deals 10 base damage and has the enchantments of Drain Strength for 12 points, as well as Damage Health for 25 points. Thus ending the quest, accidents happen. We return back to Vicente to receive our next contract.
Back for more? It just so happens I have another contract available, one that requires an expert in infiltration. As always, you fail to disappoint me. Your target is a dark elf named Valen Dreth. He thinks he's safe in prison. He is tragically mistaken. A prisoner recently escaped from the prison using a set of secret tunnels connected to the Imperial City's sewer system. It's a perfect way inside. Just outside the Imperial prison is a grating that leads to the sewers. It has recently been tightly locked, but I will provide a key. It should be easy enough to locate Dreth in his small cell. Besides, I think you know the way, Valen Dreth has been imprisoned for many years. His tongue is sharp, but his body is limp and frail. He will prove an easy, pleasurable kill. You will receive a bonus if you fulfill the contract without killing any of the prison guards. Now go, and may the Night Mother go with you.
We go to our fellow guildmates to see what advice they can offer us on this contract.
No dark brother or sister has successfully infiltrated the Imperial prison in over 300 years. This will be a true test of your abilities.
I know those sewers well. They will allow you access to the prison, but are home to some fearsome creatures. Tread carefully. Infiltrating the Imperial prison is no small matter. Those guards are heavily armed and professionally trained. If discovered, don't be a fool. Flee.
It's time to set out and assassinate Valen Dreth in the Imperial City prison. This is definitely a higher stakes mission, as we have to get in through the sewer system in which we escaped from at the beginning of the game. Whilst here, we'll come across Imperial City guards whom we're instructed to not kill if we want our bonus. Plus, these guards are likely to be very tough opponents, so a battle may not end so well. Valen Dreth was the spiteful, arrogant, and irritating dark elf we encountered at the very beginning of the game. He hurled insults at us, threatened us, and gloated about how he was going to be let out soon, and we were stuck in here to rot. The assassination is likely going to be very satisfying. This mission is also our first real chance to work on our sneaking abilities. The last quest required some sneaking, but for a very brief amount of time. This quest sees us needing to sneak around for long periods and really gives us a chance to utilize all of the sneaking mechanics presented within the game, like hiding in dark places. We have to make our way through the Imperial City sewers first. Down here, the hardest things we face are rats and mud crabs, so it really isn't much of a challenge. Eventually, we're led all the way to a ladder which leads us into the tunnels connecting to the prison.
Of course I'm proud to do my duty, but it's a waste of time. What are we guarding? Cold stone and shadow. That's it.
I'm not disagreeing with you, believe me. Those
What's
assassins got what they wanted. The Emperor is dead. They got no reason to come back.
Who's there? That's exactly what I'm saying. But will the captain listen? No. We must have a presence. The prison must remain secure.
Yeah, what a laugh, huh? Just who are we keeping secure? Dreth? Since that other one got away, he's the only one rotting down here.
Yeah, well, I guess you can't blame Captain Montrose too much. This is his big career move, after all. Got to impress that lot upstairs.
Yeah, true enough. Oh, well, I best be getting back to my watch. Hey, don't forget, we're meeting for drinks later at the Bloated Float.
Oh, I'll be there. How could I miss a chance to see you cower before that big orc bouncer?
I ain't afraid of no one. Courage is my middle name. Oh, never mind.
The next area is called the Sanctum and features 2 Imperial prison guards as well as the aforementioned captain, Japard Montrose. This is the area where the Emperor and Glenroy were ultimately killed. It's very easy to avoid the captain and one of the guards as they're stationed in a room that we don't need to go through. The other guard walks into the open area and stares at a wall for quite some time. We can use this opportunity to sneak past him and make our way to the entrance into the next zone, the Imperial Subterrane. This zone only has 1 Imperial guard patrolling it and also happens to be the darkest of all the zones. We found it best to quickly move up to a dark corner in the first room and wait for the guard to walk on by. Then, we were free to make our way through the rest of the zone and all the way up to the entrance of the Imperial prison itself. Here, we make our way around the tunnels and find ourselves back in our old cell.
I have to admit, I'm gonna miss you, Dreth. The late-night beatings, your pitiful little cries for help.
Filthy cur. I told you I was going to get out of here. My time's almost up, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, well, what's it been? 7, 8 years? We've had a good long run, you and me. I always knew it would end someday.
11 years in this rat-infested hole. But I'm getting out, and you'll still be stuck in here. Yeah!
Oh, yeah? Where will you go, huh? What will you do? You can't survive out there, Dreth. You're an animal. You belong in that cage.
I'll remember that when I'm lying on the beaches of Somerset Isle with your wife, you imperial pig.
Right. And you'll be rich, too. Oh, and you'll become a king. And you know what I think, Dreth? I think you'll be back. You lot always come back.
You'll see, you imperial dog. When I get out of here, all of Tamriel will know my name. Valen Dreth. Valen Dreth.
All right. I'm tempted to let you out right now if you just shut up.
We make our way over to Valendreth's cell and pick the lock. Alternatively, a key to his cell can be found on a table at the other end of the jail block.
You've got to get me out of here. Come on, open the door. Wait, I know you. You're the one. The day the Emperor was killed. They went through your cell. You lucky bastard. But you came back? Come on, you've got to help me. Let old Valen out of this cell. You've got your freedom, now give me mine. What do you say, huh? Come on, friend. The Night Mother... No, guards, help me. Somebody help, assassin.
We slash down Valen and receive a quest update that it's time to return back to Vicente for our reward. What I didn't know at the time was that accompanying Valendreth's key on the table was also a key that leads up to the Bastion in the Imperial City, which would have been a much quicker way out. Instead, we opted for the longer route and made our way back through the Imperial City sublevels and sewer system. Eventually, we found our way out and made our way back to the Shadenhall Sanctuary. We sought out Vicente and spoke with him.
So, you infiltrated the Imperial prison, eliminated Valendreth, and killed not one guard. Most excellent. In addition to your standard reward, I present to you this bonus. Behold, the Scales of Pitiless Justice. While carried, the scales will magically enhance your strength, intelligence, and agility, but diminish your personality. A powerful tool indeed.
We're rewarded with 400 gold and received a bonus for not killing any of the guards. We were handed a miscellaneous item called the Scales of Pitiless Justice. While on our person, they enhance our strength, agility, and intelligence all by 2 points, but lower our personality by 2 points, thus ending the quest, scheduled for execution. We speak again with Vicente for our next contract.
I have a special contract that needs fulfillment. In truth, I don't wish to offer it to any other family member. I've come to rely on your abilities. We're usually called upon to take a life, but not this time. This contract requires us to stage the assassination of a marked man. Are you ready? You must go to the city of Coral and break into the house of Francois Mortiere. Inside you will find Mortiere waiting for you. Do not kill him. You see, Francois Mortiere is a marked man. He owes a considerable sum to the wrong kind of people, so they have sent an enforcer to kill him. Here, you will use this specially poisoned knife to stage Mortiere's death in the enforcer's presence. Mortiere himself will provide more details. This is an unusual contract. Mortiere had to make a special arrangement with us before it was approved. I trust in your professionalism. The blade has been coated with a rare poison called langerwine. 1 drop in a normal human bloodstream will mimic the effects of death immediately. I have provided you with a vial of antidote, which will be used to revive Francois Mortiere after you successfully stage his death. You should also know that there's only enough langerwine on the blade for this one contract. After Mortiere is sliced, the knife will be useless. The Dark Brotherhood is not in the business of staging deaths, no matter how much gold is offered. Sithis demands blood, and blood must be paid. In order to accept the contract, we demanded a life. Mortiere offered his mother, and we accepted. Lucien has already taken care of that detail. The knife I gave you has been coated with a rare poison called langerwine. You need only cut Mortiere once, and he will appear to die.
We go around to our fellow guildmates and ask for their advice.
The Enforcer will not appreciate your little show. He'll likely attack you on sight, but you must resist the urge to fight back.
I once slept in the Coral Chapel Undercroft. It's damp, cold, and cursed. Getting Mortier out of there may be a challenge.
What? Fake a death? And you can't even kill the Enforcer? Huh. I don't envy you, friend. But a contract's a contract. Just do what you've got to do.
With all of this in mind, it's time to head to Coral and speak with Francois Motieri. This quest is very unique in the sense that we're not to actually kill anybody, but just stage a death. This is likely a first for the Dark Brotherhood. We make our way over to Francois' house, pick the lock, and enter inside.
Oh, well, hello. You must be the one Lucien Lachance told me about. I've been expecting you. We haven't got much time, I'm afraid. I borrowed quite a bit of gold from some underworld types. I missed a payment. Now they don't even want the money. They say I insulted them. They've sent an enforcer to kill me. His name is Hides' Heart, and he's on his way here now. That's why I hired you, so you can fake my death. Well, when Hides' Heart gets here, I'll put on a little act. You'll cut me with your poison knife, and that vile enforcer will think I'm dead. You must then flee from Coral, and Hides' Heart must not be killed. That way he can go back and tell his employers I'm dead. If you wait a day, my body will be put on display in the Coral Chapel Undercroft. You can come to me then and administer the antidote. Got all that? Good. Hides' Heart will be here any moment. Get ready. Oh, I do hope this works.
Motieri, I know you're in there. My employers are most displeased. I'm coming in, and you can beg for your life. Not that it will do you any good.
Motiera, I am here to exact payment in blood. You will... Eh? Who is this?
Oh no! What am I to do? An underworld enforcer and a Dark Brotherhood assassin, both here to kill poor Francois.
The Dark Brotherhood? Oh, you have been a naughty boy, Motiera, haven't you? Stand aside, assassin. Motiera is mine. My employers demand it.
Ah! What's this? Oh, Dark Brotherhood assassin, please don't cut me with that wicked blade. It looks like this is the end of poor Francois.
We'll see who gets to cut you, Motiera. Let me show you how a real killer operates. You Dark Brotherhood mongrel, defend yourself.
Oh, look. My goodness. 2 people here to confront me. Whatever shall I do?
We take out the Langerwine blade and slash Motieri, successfully faking his death. Enraged, Hides' Heart begins attacking us and chases us through the streets of Coral. All we have to do is run to one of the city gates and pass through them. We get a quest update and Hides' Heart is gone for good. It's now time to give Francois 24 hours to sell his death, and then we're to revive him from the Chapel Undercroft. We wait and then make our way to the Chapel of Stendar. We enter inside and make our way to the lower levels. Here, we walk a little bit and find ourselves standing over Francois' preserved body. We administer the antidote, get a quest update, and speak with him.
Oh, I'm a bit stiff, but quite fine otherwise. Ah, yes, the Undercroft. My family members are buried here, you know. Which leads me to something I may have failed to mention before. My ancestors will see my revival as a desecration of their tomb. This Undercroft is, well, quite cursed. Any desecration will cause my ancestors to rise from their graves and defend their resting place. I can hear them coming as we speak. You must protect me. Escort me to the Grey Mare where I can buy passage out of Coral. Ah, here they come. Oh, my, Aunt Margaret. You're looking the worse for wear.
One by one, the undead start rising from their tombs and come to attack us. We take out Dustfang and begin to defend ourselves and Motieri. We cut through one zombie and make our way to the next level. Here, we have to go through one more undead before we're able to leave. Once we do so, we run with Francois, exiting the chapel and making our way across town to the Grey Mare. We enter inside and speak with Motieri.
Ah, the Grey Mare. From here I will be able to arrange for transportation out of Cyrodiil. You have served me well, assassin. Francois is forever in your debt. Farewell.
Francois successfully evaded and faked his death, allowing him to buy passage out of Cyrodiil. Now it's time to return back to the sanctuary and speak with Vicente for our reward.
Ah, so Motieri has escaped. Well done. As payment, I am pleased to award you this amulet, Cruelty's Heart, as well as another advancement in rank. I hereby bestow upon you the title of Eliminator. Your blood is cold, your heart hard. You exemplify everything the Dark Brotherhood stands for. I present to you now this key. It unlocks the well behind the abandoned house above. Use it to gain hidden, quick access to this sanctuary.
We received Cruelty's Heart, a leveled enchanted amulet that fortifies willpower and strength for 13 points each. Vicente also gives us a key to the second entrance in and out of the sanctuary, a well just outside the house. That makes coming and going a whole lot more convenient. With that, thus ends the quest, The Assassinated Man. Before we continue with the Dark Brotherhood main questline, we were actually offered up a side quest from one of the other members, Tainava. While inquiring about the advice for the previous mission, Tainava had this to say to us.
Ah, dear friend, may I steal a moment of your time? I have a rather delicate situation I was hoping you could help me with. This is a personal matter, and will have no bearing on your standing within the Dark Brotherhood. Would you like to hear more? I find your decision most agreeable. Now the details. Far south of here, on the southern end of Cyrodiil, lies a swamp called Bogwater. Hiding in that swamp, you will find an Argonian shadowscale named Scartail. Kill this renegade, and bring me his heart as proof of the deed.
Now, after completing the Assassinated Man, we go up to him again to see if there's more we can learn.
You come speak with me, yet you do not bear Scartail's heart. Please, you must slay that traitorous snake, so Ochiva and I can find peace. When Ochiva and I trained with the Dark Brotherhood as children, we befriended another initiate, a shadowscale by the name of Scartail. The three of us were inseparable. When our training was completed, we reluctantly parted ways. But now, the unthinkable has happened. Scartail has fled Black Marsh and refuses to fulfill his duties as a royal assassin. This is an act of treason. This treachery must be punished. Just as a member of the Dark Brotherhood cannot kill a fellow family member, a shadowscale is forbidden from slaying another shadowscale. That is why you must go to Bogwater and eliminate that treacherous snake. Please kill Scartail so Chiva and I can put this matter behind us. In the Argonian homeland of Black Marsh, those born under the sign of the Shadow are taken at birth and presented to the Dark Brotherhood. A shadowscale hatchling is trained in the arts of stealth and assassination and lives a life in service to the mighty kingdom of Argonia. Any shadowscale who lives to come of age is accepted into the Dark Brotherhood as a full member of the family. So it was with myself and Ochiva.
Before we set out, Ochiva has some information to offer as well.
Greetings, brother. I do hope you are well. Scartail is a traitor to Argonia and a blight upon Tamriel. Kill him, as my brother requests, and we will be forever in your debt. I see you have been speaking with Tanava. What he says is true. All our lives we have lived together in the shadows. We are eggmates, twins. We were taken at birth and given to the Dark Brotherhood. We returned to Blackmarsh as shadow scales trained in the arts of stealth and murder. Together, we served our nation as spies and assassins, as all shadow scales do. When we came of age, we joined the family as one, and here we are.
Using the well key, we leave the sanctuary and pull up our map. We see that Bogwater Camp is in the southeastern part of Cyrodiil. We do have the nearby location of Tidewater Cave discovered, so we fast travel over there. It's hard to blame Scartail for wanting to abandon his life as a cutthroat. However, we need to carry out this quest in order to further please our brother and sister from the guild, as well as for a nice reward. We approach the camp and see a dead Argonian underneath a tree. Its nameplate claims that it's an agent, likely from Blackmarsh, and standing just a bit further off is another Argonian, presumably Scartail. We approach and begin speaking to him.
Are you? I guess I've been expecting you, assassin. Don't try to deny it. I can see it in your eyes. Your Dark Brotherhood through and through. Let me guess. It was Ochiva, right? No, wait. Tainava. Yes, he put you up to this, didn't he? Ochiva was always too busy to even be bothered. Well, you can kill me if you like. I'm afraid I won't make much of a challenge, though. The Argonian Royal Court already sent an agent to do the job. He failed, of course. His body's around here somewhere. But he got in a pretty good hit. If I don't get some rest, I'm probably dead anyway. So maybe I can appeal to your sense of goodwill, huh? You let me live, and I'll tell you where I stashed my treasure. Is it a deal? You show unexpected mercy. For that, I am thankful. My treasure is hidden in a hollowed-out rock near my campfire. It's yours. Oh, yes. I suppose Tainava wants proof that I'm dead, eh? Let me guess. My heart? I suggest you take the heart of the dead Argonian agent. His body is around here somewhere. Present the agent's heart to Tainava as proof, and he'll be none the wiser.
For the promise of treasure, we falsely tell Scartail we'll let him live in exchange for his hidden gems. We go to the hollowed-out rock, take everything inside, and instead of taking the heart from the dead Argonian, we attack Scartail. For a half-dead opponent, he puts up a pretty decent fight, but ultimately falls to our blade. We loot his body, take his heart, and fast travel back to the sanctuary. We find Tainava and speak with him.
Ha! Yes, that is an Argonian heart. Of that I'm sure. You have slain Scartail. Well done. Please take these boots as payment for your services. They are called the Boots of Bloody Bounding and carry a powerful enchantment. I'm sure you will find them most useful. Scartail was once as a brother to me and Ochiva, but his act of treason destroyed any vestige of that relationship. His death was well deserved.
We quickly run over to Ochiva and see if she has anything to say.
Greetings, brother. I do hope you are well. Scartail now lies with the worms of Bogwater, thanks to you. I am forever indebted to you, brother.
We're rewarded with a pair of enchanted footwear called the Boots of Bloody Bounding. It's light armor and has the enchantments of Fortify Acrobatics and Blade for 13 points each. Thus ends the side quest within the Dark Brotherhood, the Renegade Shadowscale. We return to Vicente to speak about doing more work.
Well now, you are an ambitious one, aren't you? I'm afraid I have no more contracts for you. Our time working together has come to an end. Instead, you must report to Ochiva here in the sanctuary. She will be providing all your contracts from now on and is waiting for you as we speak. Before you go, however, I intend to make good on an offer I made some time ago. As a vampire, I may pass my gift on to others as I see fit. You have served me well, and I choose now to extend that gift to you. Shall I use my dark powers and turn you into a vampire? Yes, I can understand your trepidation, for it is not every day one is invited to join the ranks of the undead, eh? If you ever change your mind, fear not. My offer will always be open. Simply return and speak to me about the dark gift, and we can proceed.
We're now to report to Ochiva for the rest of our contracts within the guild. But before we departed, Valtieri offered us the dark gift, aka vampirism. This is technically the second side quest within the Dark Brotherhood, however, this is not one we're going to go through with as we don't want to become a creature of the night. This quest, a dark gift, serves as a fantastic introduction to becoming a vampire if players haven't stumbled across any in forts or ruins just yet. This quest is as simple as accepting his offer, going to sleep, and becoming afflicted with porphyric hemophilia. From there, after 3 days with no cure disease potion, spell, or blessings, we fully transition into a vampire, completing the quest. We go ahead and speak with Ochiva for our next contract.
Ah, greetings. I have been waiting for you. As Vicente surely told you, your time working with him has come to an end. From now on, you will receive all assignments directly from me. In fact, your next contract is available now. In the Imperial City, there lives a high elf who must be removed from existence. Finding this person may prove challenging. Are you interested? I knew you wouldn't be able to resist. Your target is a high elf named Phalion. He lives somewhere in the Imperial City and fancies long walks. Unfortunately, that's all we know. We don't know which district he calls home, which establishments he frequents, or anything about his schedule. This contract will require a bit of detective work. I suggest you speak to your fellow brothers and sisters and see if they can offer any advice. Ah, yes, there is one more thing. The Imperial City is also home to an Imperial Legion captain named Adamus Philida. Do you know who that is? Philida has dedicated his life to eradicating the Dark Brotherhood, and he becomes rather irate when our duties take us to the Imperial City. When that happens, he tends to make our lives uncomfortable. Let's not give the good captain any reason to go poking around in our affairs, If possible, do away with Phalion someplace out of the way. Definitely indoors with no other people around. A secure location with no witnesses. This will make it look like a simple murder. Philida will be none the wiser, and you'll receive a nice bonus. Now go, and may Sithis go with you.
We quickly speak with our fellow guildmates for any advice on this quest.
Now this is what I'm talking about. You kill him up close, face to face, and you still get the bonus. I wish all the contracts were like that.
The elves of the Imperial City are a fairly close-knit community. One of them will have at least heard of Phalion. You should ask around.
I'd never suggest you forfeit a bonus, of course, but killing Phalion indoors is so unappealing. Too bad you couldn't snipe him from a balcony. But first I guess you have to find him, right? The elven races of the Imperial City are a community unto themselves. Ask them about Phalion.
Both Vicente and Telandril offered us some great pieces of advice. The elves of the Imperial City are likely to know of our target, Phalion, and his whereabouts. We leave the sanctuary and fast travel to the capital. Arriving in the market district, we wait until the citizens are out in the streets and track down the first elf in sight. We see a Dunmer named Ulan Athram and speak with him.
Ulan Athram, of the Krakenmore Athrams. Made my fortune in the Flynn trade, and now I'm here in the city. I believe it. Phalion, you say? Why, yes, I know who he is. Rather distasteful fellow, actually. I believe he lives at the Tiber Septim Hotel. That's in the Talos Plaza district, here in the Imperial City. I'd ask around there if I were you.
Ulan gave us a great tip on Phalion. We travel to the Talos Plaza district and make our way for the Tiber Septim Hotel. Entering inside, we see only one person, Augusta Calidia, the publican. We speak with her for more information on Phalion.
Welcome, friend, to the Tiber Septim Hotel. I am Augusta Alidia, your hostess. Phalion? Oh, I know him all right. A waste of life, that one. He lives here, you know, with his sweetheart, a trainer. What that poor girl sees in him, I'll never know. A trainer pays for their room, their food, everything. She's quite wealthy, I believe. Phalion used to have money. Used to be quite a gentleman, too. But that was before he took a fancy to the, you know, the skooma. Now Phalion's hardly ever here. He's off using skooma or wandering the city looking for some, I imagine. He comes back every night to be with a trainer, but only for a few hours, I swear. That high elf is going to wind up dead if he keeps living like this.
Augusta was also more than helpful towards us and has directed us towards Atrena, Phalion's girlfriend, who currently lives out of a rented room here with Phalion. We go to the lodging quarters, open the first door on the right, and speak with Atrena.
Yes, good sir? How may I help you? Please, I don't mean to get emotional, but I feel I can trust you. I just don't know what to do about Phalion. All he thinks about, all he cares about is skooma. He was a fine young man once, but he's lost everything. His looks, his money, his self-respect. I followed him a few times to see where he goes. He walks around the city looking for skooma. And then he goes to Lorkmir's house for several hours. It's in the Elfin Gardens district. I think the house is deserted. That's why he goes there, so he can escape from life and do his skooma. Thank you for listening. You're a good friend. I just hope my sweet Phalion can clean himself up, or that awful skooma will be the death of him.
Atrena was very helpful towards us and gave up Phalion's favorite spot for shooting up some skooma, which also seems rather private and is indoors, perfect for attaining our bonus. We leave the Tiber Septim Hotel and travel to the Elven Gardens district. We find the house belonging to this so-called Lorkmir, pick the lock, and enter inside. The house is empty as of right now. We go upstairs to investigate. We don't see much, but the place is turned upside down and is very messy. We go back down to the main area and enter into the basement. All seems orderly until we turn a corner and lay eyes upon a slaughtered man. Lorkmir is laying lifeless, face down in a pool of his own blood. It appears that Phalion has gone as far as killing this man, addict or not, in order to either have a safe space to do skooma or for Lorkmir's stash. Going back up to the main area, we bump into the Mer himself, Phalion.
Hey, what are you doing here? You're not my friend? What do you want? My soul? Whoa! Wow! Yeah! Okay, yeah! That sounds great! You can have my soul. Can I have your soul too? Oh, wow.
We take an embarrassing swing at Phalion and miss. Thankfully, he's not afraid or alarmed, and we're able to swing again, delivering the killing blow. We get a quest update, and it's time to return back to the Sanctuary. We leave the house and fast travel back to Shadenhall. We seek out Ochiva for our reward.
I am the High Elf Phalion now, swims in the maelstrom of darkness at the feet of our dread father, Sithis, and there were no witnesses to your handiwork. Because of the discretion you exercised, Captain Philida will not suspect the Dark Brotherhood was involved and will not meddle in our affairs. Here is your reward and bonus. Both have been well earned. Go now and rest, and may the Night Mother guard your dreams.
We're given the standard amount of gold and a bonus item called Shadow Hunt. Shadow Hunt is an enchanted bow that deals 4 base damage and has the enchantments of Turn Undead up to level 22 on strike, damage health and magicka on strike for 15 points each, and a 15% weakness to poison on strike. With that, thus ends the quest, The Lonely Wanderer. We speak with Ochiva to receive our next contract.
I have another contract when you're ready, one that will rely on your ability to remain fully undetected. Far to the west, there lives a fierce warlord and his company of loyal mercenaries. Your target is the warlord. Do you accept this contract? Excellent. Now listen closely. Nestled in the mountains to the west lies Fort Such. It is the home of the warlord Roderick and his mercenaries. Roderick has recently taken ill. He now lies in eternal slumber, kept alive only by the daily administration of a powerful medicine. You must infiltrate Fort Such, find Roderick's medicine, and replace it with a poisoned bottle I will provide, but you must remain undetected. Whomever arranged this contract wants it to look like Roderick died from his illness, so discretion is essential. Attack no one. Be seen by no one. If you are detected, the poisoning will fail, and Roderick must be killed in some other manner. That will, of course, forfeit your bonus.
It's now time to speak with our fellow guildmates about any advice they can offer. While we were doing so, the strangest thing happened. We were wandering around the front end of the sanctuary when Ochiva came sprinting out of her room, dagger in hand. It looked like she was chasing Antoinetta, but they both went into the training room. We followed, and sure enough, Ochiva began to attack Antoinetta, completely unprovoked. The two fought with daggers for a brief bit, but soon, Ochiva delivered the killing blow on Antoinetta Marie. I had never seen this happen before within the Dark Brotherhood, so I was quite shocked and bewildered. I have no idea what caused this attack, and according to the lore, Ochiva should have likely been temporarily expelled from the guild, but of course, that didn't happen. We resumed with receiving advice from our guildmates.
These mercenary groups tend to be fanatically loyal to whomever leader they follow. Roderick's people will likely fight to the death. Be cautious.
What do you mean nobody can see you? Where's the fun in that? Damn the bonus, I say. Just walk in there and stab him.
Fort Such, I am familiar with that place. It's nestled deep in the mountains. It is naturally well defended, but there is a weakness. Not far from the ruins of Fort Such lies the ruins of a tower. That tower was once part of the Fort Such Abbey. The two ruins lie apart on the surface, but underground they're connected by some now flooded tunnels. Wet and dark, yes, but surely unguarded.
Tainava gave us a great tip on Fort Such and how to get in there undetected. We leave the sanctuary and take a look at our map. Fort Such lies pretty far to the southwest, but lucky for us, we have Brittle Rock Cave discovered, which is relatively close to it. We fast travel over and begin to make our way towards the fort. Fun fact, the ruins of Fort Such are actually in place of what was once supposed to be the 10th major city in the game. I have a whole video on it if you're interested in knowing more. We find ourselves at Fort Such and scope out the place. There are no sentries outside, and we have the options of entering through the main entrance or through the abbey like Tainava suggested. We decide on the secret entrance, pick the lock, and enter inside. The tunnels are narrow and flooded, like previously suggested, however, it doesn't take long for us to run into a marauder on patrol. The tunnels are in fact guarded, and we have the second closest call imaginable for getting caught. Once the guard goes away and is successfully evaded, we wander down the tunnels a bit further to eavesdrop on another pair of guards.
I just don't know. Is the medicine sustaining Roderick's life, or just postponing his death? How can he survive for so long with a fever so high?
Roderick's fever's in check, unlike your tongue. How can you think such things after all he's done for us? For you. Have a little faith.
Faith? Are you telling me we're supposed to rely on the good graces of the divines to keep Roderick alive? Even he would laugh at such nonsense.
Then what would you propose? What more can we do? That medicine is keeping Roderick alive. For now, that's the best we can hope for.
I know, Nisha, and I meant no disrespect. It's just that I hate waiting around like this, watching him suffer.
As do we all, dear friend. Do not fear. I have been assured that the medicine will restore our Roderick to full health. But it will take some time.
Then let us trust a bit less to faith and a bit more to our own strength. I shall guard the medicine cabinet myself, just in case.
And I shall continue my vigil at Roderick's side. It's just a matter of time before our leader returns to us. I can feel it in my heart.
They begin walking towards us and we retreat back the way we came, hoping that we don't run into that other guard on patrol. The reason I previously said second closest call for getting caught is because this was by far the closest call to getting discovered while sneaking. The guards literally walked into us, opened the gates that were previously locked, and continued to walk on by. I was absolutely astounded and even had to double check that our console commands weren't on. From here, the rest of the work is pretty easy. We make our way further in and can even spot Roderick's bed up on the balcony. We hook a right which leads us upstairs and navigate through some passageways. We eventually find ourselves at the highest level and are directly across from the medicine cabinet. We're careful to avoid the orc marauder and sneak over. Looking into the cabinet, we take out the medicine and replace it with the poison. We receive a quest update and are now free to leave Fort Such. Before we do, we get up close to Roderick just to lay eyes on him as he is in his eternal slumber. The Red Guard Marauder from before is directly overseeing him and is merely feet away from us. I never really discussed it too much, but with some of these contracts, it's pretty fun and at times potentially obvious as to who could have set the hit out on these people. For Roderick, my money's on the Orc Marauder, Olmug Gro Kromgog, whom, while we were initially eavesdropping, casts a lot of doubt on Roderick making a full recovery and seemed fed up with the whole process. He obviously can't kill Roderick himself for fear of retaliation, and he would have a lot to gain by usurping him, likely becoming the next warlord. We exit the fort and are free to fast travel back to Shadenhall. We do so and enter inside the sanctuary to speak with Ochiva.
So you infiltrated Fort Such, remained undetected, and replaced the medicine with the poison I provided. You are truly a master of shadow. It pleases me greatly to offer you this reward and a well-earned bonus. Go now, rest. I'll have another contract ready whenever you are.
We're given the standard amount of gold and received a bonus item called the Deceiver's Finery. The Deceiver's Finery is an enchanted outfit that fortifies personality and speechcraft for 13 points each. With that, thus ends the quest, Bad Medicine. We We return to Ochiva for our next contract.
So, are you ready to mingle with the doomed house guests? The contract is waiting. Do you like parties? Because you've been invited to one. Of course, you'll be killing all the other guests. Are you ready to attend? Splendid. You need to go to the city of Skingrad, to the large house known as Summit Mist Manor. There, you will meet up with 5 very unlucky guests. In order to receive your bonus, you must kill each guest secretly, one by one. If anyone sees you committing murder, the bonus is forfeit. The guests believe there is a chest of gold hidden in the house and have agreed to be locked inside until one of them finds it. In fact, the guests believe the key to the manor is inside the chest, and only by satisfying their greed will they be allowed to leave. Poor fools. There is, of course, no chest of gold. The guests will find no key. After you arrive, the doors will be locked behind you, as everyone expects. When all the guests lie dead, you will be free to leave. Now go. See the doorman at Summit Mist Manor. He will explain the rest. Have fun.
We ask around the guild hall to see what advice can be offered to us.
The key to successfully completing this contract is effectively blending in with the other guests. So for Sithis' sake, do not wear your hood.
Remember the pretenses under which the guests are there. They will be suspicious. You must be as effective an actor as you are a killer. It would be a good idea to talk to each guest and appeal to their good disposition. Remember, if they really like you, they may open up to you. You should dress appropriately. The Deceiver's finery, your recent quest reward, would serve this purpose nicely. If you earned it, that is.
Take your time with this one. Observe the other guests. Learn their schedules and behaviors. And strike each one when they're alone. Use your silver tongue. Try to befriend the guests, and then you may be able to lure them to their own dooms.
We grasp the notion that this quest is going to be a game of deception and lies more than a sneaking one. Exiting the sanctuary, we equip our best items that help to fortify our personality and speechcraft. It's now time to travel to Skingrad for our party. We arrive in the city and make our way to Summit Mist Manor.
So the last guest finally arrives. I'll tell you what I told all the others. You go in, I lock the door. You don't come out until it's over. Now I'll tell you what I didn't tell everyone else. We have the same mother, you and I. And she wants you to have this. It's the key to the house. I guess someone else has already told you the other details. Kill all the guests, then leave, right? Well, you better get in there. Time to mingle.
Just like that, we're quickly shooed inside, and the fun begins.
The 6th guest has finally arrived. Well, it's about time. Do you know how long we've been waiting? It seems like an age. Whoever invited us here must at least know us, don't you think? In any event, we're all stuck here together, so we might as well get acquainted. The rest of us have already traded introductions. I'm Matilda Petite. The others are Nels the Naughty, Neville, Devisi Dran, and Primo Antonius. Now, who might you be? Please, tell us a little bit about yourself. Oh, you poor dear. Well, this does make things difficult for me. I want to find the gold as much as anyone, but you need it so much more than I do. The little dark elf. She seems a nice enough girl. But to be perfectly honest, I've never trusted their kind. That's right, it's a Breton name. I'll have you know the Petites are one of High Rock's oldest and most respected noble families. He's a Nord, mead-swilling barbarians, all of them. From what I gathered, he's a retired soldier. He's been all across the Empire fighting in various campaigns. Goodness, he's handsome. He's young, well-educated, and obviously full of himself. Not much different than any young nobleman, really.
We can now go around and speak with the other 4 members of the event. Inquiring about the other players with a disposition lower than 70 leads to watered down and simplified answers. So, we introduce ourselves to everybody first and get to know them before we gossip.
Hello, I'm Dovesi. I'm very pleased to meet you. Now that you're here, we can really start looking for that chest of gold. What I mean to say is, before you arrived, we all just sort of glanced around a bit. Now that we're all officially here, we can look in earnest. Not much to tell about me, really. I'm from Morrowind originally, but my family moved to Valenwood a few years ago.
So, you finally showed up. It's about time. People of my station are not accustomed to waiting. It's a regal name from a rather regal family. Indeed, my father owns more property than the East Empire Company.
Ah, yes, the 6th guest. I'm Neville. It's nice to make your acquaintance. I'm a Redguard, though I've never actually been to Hammerfell. I was born here in Cyrodiil. My family has been in the Legion for 3 generations.
Nels the Naughty's disposition towards us was already pretty high, so we got some valuable details.
Well, hello there. Nels is my name. Some call me Naughty, but don't you believe it. Let me confide something in you, my friend. Dovesi is the spitting image of my own daughter. Her skin is darker, of course, but that sweet face. My daughter was killed, you see, a few years back by bandits. I'm sorry. Please forgive a father's heavy heart. You should have seen the old biddy trying to talk to young Primo Antonius. She may be a noble, but he looked down on her like a scullery maid. Ah, don't let the name fool you. I had a bit too much mead a few years back, and there was this tavern wench. Anyway, just call me Nels. I will confide something in you, my friend. I despise Neville and all his Imperial Legion ilk. They are useless, uncaring tools of corruption. 3 years ago, my village in Skyrim was attacked by bandits. We went to the nearby Imperial Legion outpost, but they refused to help us. My dear, sweet daughter Olga was killed that day. She was murdered, and the Legion would do nothing to help her. Neville and his kind are scum. Primo is young and rich. I can sense a good, decent person in there somewhere. He just has to get his priorities straight.
Now we can grease everybody else up and start to learn the important information, beginning with Neville.
Well, that chest of gold is supposed to be in here somewhere. Though why someone would invite us all here just to give it away is quite the mystery. Know what I think? I think that barbarian will do anything to get his hands on the chest of gold. His kind are greedy and vicious, all of them. Trust me, I know. I was stationed at Fort Frostmoth for a few years on the Isle of Solstheim. Those Nords are a bunch of animal-worshipping savages. They're all the same, full of meat and something to prove. We lost a lot of good men up there. A lot of good men. You want my honest opinion? This whole setup, the party, the chest of gold, it doesn't make any sense. Why would someone invite us here? Why would they just give away an entire chest of gold? If I didn't know better, I'd say this whole thing is a trap. So why am I here? Greed, my friend. I need the gold. I served the Legion proudly for 23 years, but pride doesn't put food on my table. Dovezi is a dark elf. They call themselves Dunmer. When I was young, I spent some time stationed on Fort Moonmoth, on their homeland of Morrowind. I have great respect for the Dunmer people. They are strong and noble and generally understand the importance of law and discipline. Unfortunately, Dovezi doesn't seem to like me very much, but I don't blame her. The young ones tend to have problems with authority figures. If I may be honest, I feel a bit sorry for the old woman. She comes from a noble family, I'm sure, but seems a lot less well off than she should be. I'll confess that I have no idea why Primo is here. The kid's got more wealth than the rest of us combined. He sure doesn't need a chest of gold. Maybe he's incredibly greedy, but I don't think so. My guess is that Primo is so bored he simply has nothing better to do.
Neville dislikes Nels, likes Mathilde and Dovezi, and doesn't understand Primo. We move on to Primo next.
Well, here we all are. It's funny how money can bring people together, don't you think? Hard. Can I be honest with you, my friend? I find Dovezi captivating. She possesses a beauty beyond compare. Maybe you could do me a favor. If you speak with her, put in a good word for me, would you? I would be forever in your debt. Apparently, the poor old woman thinks she's from a well-to-do family. Truth is, I have servants with more nobility in their blood than her. Nels is a drunk. He doesn't even try to hide that fact. But what else is he? When the liquor is dried, what remains of the man? I think Nels drinks to forget, maybe about some tragedy in his life. He plays the buffoon, but I sense a deep sadness in him. I know he's a retired Imperial Legion officer. Apparently, he's been in campaigns all across the Empire, from Skyrim to Morrowind. I also get the sense that he's very eager to find the gold. I can't imagine his life of servitude to the Empire left him with much to retire on.
Primo dislikes Mathilde and is attracted to Dovezi. He even asks us to inform her of his feelings. This will come in handy later. We make our way upstairs, wake up Mathilde, and speak with her.
Have you spoken to the other guests yet? I suggest you get to know everyone. Who knows how long we'll be stuck in this house together? Just what I wanted. Personally, I think she's a little floozy. She's been eyeing young Primo Antonius, probably smells his wealth. Oh, that man disgusts me. I find his entire manner offensive. Why, just before you got here, he told me the most off-colour joke about an Argonian maid. Well, if I can be perfectly honest with you, I find Neville quite attractive. Red Guards are so exotic, don't you think? It's obvious that young Primo comes from wealth. A chest full of gold would be mere spending change for him.
Mathilde dislikes Dovezi and Nels, yet likes Primo and Neville. We speak to our final target, Dovezi.
This is all so strange, isn't it? I don't know why I was invited to come here. But the gold could really help my family. I do hope I find it. Honestly, I don't think she likes me. It's because I'm a Dunmer. I heard her say something to Neville, and it wasn't very nice. Every now and then he looks over at me and smiles. I think he's sweet on me. If Nels finds the gold, maybe he'll want some company. I know he's a retired soldier. But not just a soldier. He was an officer in the Imperial Legion. I hate the Legion and everything it stands for. When those soldiers came to Morrowind, they persecuted my people and stole our lands. Neville may not be in the Legion anymore, but who knows what atrocities he committed. It's pretty obvious that Primo comes from a wealthy family. He would never be interested in a girl like me, I'm afraid. He did? Oh my goodness, what should I do? Should I talk to him? Or maybe play hard to get? Or should I, or would that be too forward? Oh, you think so? I mean, it is rather forward, but I like it. All right, then. I'll wait for him in his room upstairs. Oh, thank you, thank you.
We can finally start the killing. We follow Dovesi into Primo's room as she falsely believes he's going to meet her there. Once the door is closed and Mathilde is out of sight, we strike down Dovesi. We then take advantage of the solitude and rush over to the neighboring bedroom. Mathilde is all alone and sleeping, so we assassinate her next. With 2 down and 3 to go, we wander back downstairs and overhear Neville discussing the murders with Nels.
2 of us have been murdered. 1 of us is a killer, but who? We're being stalked like animals in the forest. I'm still not sure if the killer is one of the other guests or is hiding somewhere in the house. One thing I do know is that the killer won't just stop with 2. They never do. You and I, we need to watch each other's backs. I've got my old Legion armor and sword in a chest upstairs. It's time I geared up and showed this coward just who he's dealing with.
Neville puts his trust in us and begins going upstairs to put his gear on, as he fears he's next. We follow Neville, and just before he's able to enter into his room, we strike him down. Primo found his way up here just in the nick of time, but luckily, he didn't witness the murder. Now that he's all alone in his room, we wander over and stick our blade in his back, killing him off next. The last target is Nels back on the main floor. We descend down and speak with him.
You and I are the only ones left, but we're not alone in this house. That killer is in here with us, hiding. But where? You want to know something, my friend? I just don't care anymore. We're the only 2 left. I know I didn't kill those people, so that leaves you. And now you're here to kill me, right? Well, let's get this over with. So I guess this is it.
Nels runs to a bookshelf to grab his blade, but before he makes it there, we cut him down and eliminate our final target. We get a quest update and are free to leave the manor. This quest was honestly a lot of fun and very creative. There were so many different avenues, dialogue prompts, and scenarios that could have played out and would have completely changed the outcome of this quest. Something I was left curious about was the doorman Fafnir. He claimed to be a serving member of the Dark Brotherhood. I can't help but wonder which sanctuary he belonged to, as we know from the in-game lore, there are a number of sanctuaries all across Cyrodiil. Returning back to our sanctuary and entering inside, we speak with Ochiva for our reward.
Well done. Not only did you kill the 5 guests, you acted as an agent of terror and grief. You have earned your reward and bonus, assassin. I lay upon you now the Night Mother's blessing. May she walk with you always and guide your hand as you act in accordance with the 5 tenets.
We receive the standard amount of gold and also a bonus reward of the Night Mother's blessing. The Night Mother's blessing gives us a permanent +2 to the skills of Marksman, Security, Sneak, Acrobatics, and Blade. With that, thus ends the quest, Whodunit. We return back to Ochiva to receive our next contract.
Greetings once more, assassin. When you're ready, I have a most important contract, one that has been sanctioned by the Black Hand itself. Do you recall the name Adamus Philida, the Imperial Legion best? It's time he joined Sithis in the Void. Think you're up to the task? Adamus Philida has spent his entire career investigating the Dark Brotherhood, interrupting our contracts, killing our family members. We tried to eliminate Philida, of course, but failed on 3 separate occasions. He's a powerful man and was surrounded by powerful associates. Now the Legion Pig's years of service have come to an end. He has retired. Philida must not be allowed such a victory. His destiny is darker. Philida now resides in Leowin, in the City Watch Barracks, an honored guest of the soldiers there. He is in fact more vulnerable than ever. The Black Hand has sanctioned the Rose of Sithis. It is a magic arrow specifically enchanted to kill its target, in this case, Philida. As long as the arrow hits Philida, he will die, but it cannot pierce armor. Shoot while Philida is armored, and the rose will be wasted. Travel to Leowin, track Philida, learn his schedule. Observe when he removes that blasted Legion armor, and then let fly the Rose of Sithis. Kill Philida in any way, Rose or not, and the contract is complete. But to receive a bonus, you must go beyond murder. You must send a message. Once Philida is dead, take the very finger from his corpse, the one that bears an Imperial Legion signet ring. Deposit this finger in the desk of Philida's successor, in his office in the prison barracks, in the Imperial City. Do this, and the bonus is yours.
We speak with our fellow guildmates and see what advice they can offer.
Don't get me wrong. That magic arrow sounds nice and all, but it seems to me like you don't even need to use it to get the bonus. As long as you cut off his finger and leave it in that desk, you'll get your bonus. Sounds to me like you can kill the old sod any way you'd like. So what if he's wearing armor? You think that Imperial Legion scrap can stop a well-forged claymore? Not bloody likely.
Philida may be retired, but he'll likely have a bodyguard, probably a member of the Leowin City Watch. You may have to dispose of him as well.
The roles will only work if Philida is unarmored. So, when would a soldier not wear his armor? I only take my armor off to sleep or swim.
It's now time to head to the city of Leowin and find the retired guard captain. We switch back to our shrouded gear and fast travel over. Interestingly, Tainava gave us the best advice, as it was honestly more of a hint, because arriving in Leowin, we see Adamus Philida swimming in the local pond, completely defenseless. We speak with him just to hear some dialogue.
Hail, good citizen. Do we know each other? There's something familiar about you, but I just can't place it. Yes, well, I'm a very busy man, enjoying my retirement, don't you know? So why don't you just go away?
Adamus claims to recognize us, but he isn't so sure where. This could likely be a callback to if we were spotted by him during the Lonely Wanderer quest in the Imperial City. We run out of the pond just behind a house, equip a bow and the Rose of Sithis, and fire it off, instantly killing the Dark Brotherhood's Bane. We weren't caught and receive a quest update that we still need his finger if we want the bonus. We get in close, search his body, and take a set of keys as well as the finger with a ring on it. Interestingly, if we get in any closer to Philida's bodyguard, he'll begin attacking us. We reload the save and simply walk away from the scene of the crime with everything we need. We travel over to the Imperial City prison and sneak on over to the Imperial Legion offices. We pick the lock and enter inside. We make our way to the new captain's desk and place Adamus Philida's severed finger in it, earning us a quest update and a bonus reward. Interestingly, it's not shown here, but Adamus's bodyguard, after failing to protect the retired guard captain, will have killed himself and leaves behind a note. The note reads, "This was my big break. Finally, I'm given something important to do, and what happens? I blow it. All I had to do was keep Philida alive. That's it. But no, I couldn't even accomplish that. Father was right. I'm an idiot, and I haven't amounted to anything. I let everyone down. So this is it. Goodbye, cruel empire, I'm ending it all. We return back to the sanctuary and speak with Ochiva for a reward.
Adamas Philida is dead. I could feel my heart swell with the Night Mother's love the moment that Imperial pig issued his last breath. You have done a great service to the Dark Brotherhood today, assassin. Your reward is well earned. You also managed to leave Philida's severed finger as a warning to his successor. Well done. Your bonus, 500 additional gold coins, is well earned. Go now, get some rest. Sithis knows you've earned it. When you're ready for another contract, you need only ask.
We receive the standard amount of gold as well as 500 extra for our bonus efforts. Thus ends the quest, Permanent Retirement. The next quest is a short one and is also considered a side quest of sorts, but it can be looked at a little bit differently than that. As a member of the Dark Brotherhood, we must abide by the 5 tenets. Should we break any of them, we're temporarily expelled from the guild. One of the 5 tenets is to not steal from any of our brothers and sisters, so if we were to do such a thing, we immediately are met with a loading screen and a quest notification. A dark exile is added, and it details that we've been suspended from the guild. Upon our next sleep, we'll be visited by the Wrath of Sithis, and should we defeat it in combat, we'll be reinstated back into the faction. Interesting to note is that we can be temporarily expelled up to 2 times. The second time we're expelled, it triggers a quest called Another Dark Exile, where we must defeat another Wrath of Sithis, and will be reinstated yet again should we end up victorious. The third time we're expelled, it activates the quest called Eternal Exile, and we still have to defeat the Wrath of Sithis upon waking up, but we'll never be able to continue with the Dark Brotherhood questline again. If we decide to step foot into the sanctuary while we're expelled, our former brothers and sisters will treat it as trespassing. To continue with the first expulsion, a Dark Exile, we find a bed, sleep in it, and are instantly woken up by the Wrath of Sithis, which happens to be identical to a Gloom Wraith. It's immune to normal weapons, frost, and poison. It attacks us with absorb health and frost damage spells, among other magics, and uses a unique blade called the Dagger of Discipline. Once we defeat it, we complete the quest and get a notification that we can resume our duties as normal. We pick up the dagger and see that it deals 9 base damage and drains health 15 points on strike, thus ending the quest, A Dark Exile. Now that we're back in the guild, we can speak with Ochiva for more duties.
Ah, assassin, I must speak with you. It is quite urgent. A sealed letter just arrived from a Dark Brotherhood courier. I recognize this type of parcel. It contains sealed orders. It's addressed to you from Lucien Lachance. You must open these sealed orders immediately and follow their instructions to the letter. It would seem the Black Hand itself has a task for you.
We go into our inventory and look at the letter from Lucien Lachance. It reads, Eliminator, you've served the Dark Brotherhood well in the short time you've been with us. Indeed, the rate of your advancement has been rather remarkable. Now, the Black Hand itself is in need of your abilities. You must proceed with all haste to my private refuge in the ruins of Fort Farragut, located in the forest northeast of the Shadenhall Sanctuary. When you arrive, we'll discuss the nature of your special assignment. I can't stress to you enough the importance of your swift arrival at Fort Farragut. There are unseen powers working to unravel the very fabric of the Dark Brotherhood. The Black Hand is counting on you to prevent this disaster. Do not share the contents of this message with anyone at the Shadenhall Sanctuary, including Ochiva, and make no mention of your journey to Fort Farragut. Also, be warned, my refuge within Fort Farragut is guarded by denizens who will attack any interloper on sight. Get through these rotting sentinels, and you'll surely have earned the right to visit my private sanctum. Lucien Lachance. There's a lot of secrecy and ambiguity within this letter, and it's really strange that we're to tell no one about the contents of it or the rest of this contract. We exit the sanctuary and leave Shadenhall through the northern gate. We run along the pathway up a hill and find ourselves just outside of Fort Farragut, where Lucien wishes to meet us. We equip our heavy armor as we're anticipating a fight from within, as per the mentions from the letter. The fort contains 6 Dark Guardians, which are the very same ones that patrol the sanctuary. These Dark Guardians are powerful undead that don't hit very hard, but have quite a lot of health. Fort Farragut only has 1 zone to it, so it's not too tricky to find our way around to Lucien Lechance's secret hideout. Approaching a gate and pulling the lever, we enter into a room and finally meet up with the speaker and speak with him.
I have been waiting for you, assassin. We have not spoken in some time, but I am well aware of your accomplishments within the Dark Brotherhood. That is why I have sent for you. I'm afraid there is a situation. The time has come to test both your skill and your loyalty to Sithis. The Black Hand has learned that the Dark Brotherhood has been infiltrated. By whom and for what purpose we do not yet know. What we do know is that there is some link between the traitor and the Cheydinhal Sanctuary. The traitor has tainted that place beyond repair. It was learned that the traitor has been active for quite some time, since before you joined the Brotherhood. That absolves you of any suspicion. Oh, but I do. You have been selected by the Black Hand to perform the ancient rite known as purification. Everyone inside the sanctuary must die. You must break one of the tenets you have sworn to uphold. I know. This is an unexpected turn of events, but drastic measures must be taken. Ochiva, Vicente Valtieri, Antoinetta Marie, Gogron Grobolmag, Telendril, Mirage Dar, and Tainava. All these family members must die. From this point forward, you are no longer bound by the 5 tenets. Sithis will forgive any murder, any theft, so long as you serve the Black Hand. When the rite of purification has been completed, return to me here at Fort Farragut, and we will discuss your future. Now, take these special gifts. They will help you greatly. One is a poisoned apple, the other a unique scroll of summoning. Good luck, Silencer. The apple has been treated with a most deadly poison. It will likely kill whomever eats it, probably instantly. To use the apple, simply dispose of any other food and put the apple in its place. If someone is inclined to eat, and they taste the apple, death. You of course recall Rufio, the feeble old man I sent you to kill when we first met. He was weak in life, but his spirit is quite angry in death. The scroll will allow you to call upon Rufio's angry ghost for assistance. He will appear, unleash his anger upon your foes, and then disperse. The Dark Brotherhood is an ancient organization. We have survived for millennia. Sometimes, to ensure that survival, drastic measures are required. The purification is one of the most extreme measures we are forced to carry out. Indeed, it has only been carried out twice. Before now, that is. The 5 tenets are the laws that guide and protect us. But sometimes, even they must be broken to protect the sanctity of our beliefs. With a purification, we cleanse the Dark Brotherhood of mistrust and treachery. Those who are slain are offered to Sithis as a symbol of fealty. And hopefully, we kill the traitor in the process. Until the purification is complete, no given sanctuary will ever be considered secure.
We have the honor yet horror of enacting the third purification rite to ever take place within the Dark Brotherhood. There's a traitor in the group, and this is the only way to root them out, should they even be active within our sanctuary. On one hand, we get to appease our character's theoretical desire to kill. On the other hand, we have to murder the kind and welcoming brothers and sisters of the guild who we've grown and bonded with. We exit Fort Farragut and travel back to the sanctuary. It's time to get our hands dirty. I decided to do this methodically and meticulously, treating it delicately like we needed to remain undetected. This also helped to avoid a massive brawl, which we were ready for just in case. Our first target was the wood elf, Talandril. She was eating all alone in the living quarters. We tried to place the poisoned apple in front of her, but to no luck, likely as there was no food there to begin with. We decide to take out our sword and take a big swing at her. It takes down about half of her health, and she stumbles to get up from her chair. Before she can arm herself, we quickly slash at her a few more times, sending her to the void with Sithis. Our first target is down, and it's time to pick our next one. We leave the living quarters and enter the training room as we see someone is down there all alone. Turning the corner, we see it's none other than the Khajiit Mirage Dar.
Ah, there you are. Look, I've been thinking, and, well, I guess I just want to say I'm sorry for the way I've treated you in the past. I mean, look at you, the things you've accomplished. You've obviously proven yourself a valuable member of this sanctuary. So let's start over, shall we? I know from now on, you and I are going to be great friends. Now, is there something you'd like to buy or sell? Oh, a secret assignment, you say? Come on, can't you give your old pal Mirage Dar a hint? Who do you have to kill? Anyone I know?
We look around to make sure we're alone and cut him down in his seat, barely giving him any time to react. Unshown were the dialogues we had with Mirage Dar leading up to this moment. He had been nothing but rude, dismissive, and aggressive towards us, so he sort of had it coming. We exit the training area and see that we have 4 targets left. After waiting a few hours, we see that Gogrin Grobalmog split off from the group. We go to the living quarters and see him resting. We speak with him one final time to hear his thoughts on this contract.
LeChance gave me a special assignment once. Had to go all the way to Somerset Isle for that one. Killed me about 30 elves. Ah, good times.
He goes back to sleep, and that gives us enough time to begin wailing on him. The Brute Orc has Daedric armor and carries an enchanted ebony battle axe. He likely would have been the most challenging fight, but since we had the jump on him, there was no defense offered. That leaves 3 more targets, as Antoinetta was already killed by Ochiva. We went into Ochiva's quarters and spoke with her one last time.
You've seen Lucien Lachance then. Good, good. I know whatever task he has for you will be carried out with skill and discretion. Lucien Lachance's word is law. Whatever contract he has given you must be carried out without question.
As she too lay asleep, we took out our sword and began slashing at her. She was killed before she can even properly get out of bed. We're left with our final 2 targets, Tainava and Vicente. Vicente went back into his personal quarters, so we decided to follow him there. As he lay asleep, we woke him up to speak one last time.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Please continue. LeChance would not have selected you for a contract unless he had the utmost confidence in your abilities. Best not let him down. Ah, you are interested then. Shall I pass along the terrible power of my dark gift? Do you wish to become a vampire? Ah, most excellent. Here is what you must do. Simply go to sleep here in the sanctuary at any time, and I will visit you as you slumber. I will wrap you in vampirism's dark embrace. You'll never even know I was there. But when you awaken, we will be of the same blood. Once infected with vampirism, you must wait 3 days and then sleep once more. Then the dark gift will truly take hold. Sleep now, and awake anew.
Vicente went back to bed, thinking we were going to join him in the ranks of the undead. We began hacking away at him, killing him as he barely stood up. We technically completed Darkness Eternal, as now there is no way to receive porphyric hemophilia from Valtieri. The last member alive in the sanctuary was Tainava. He was reading in the front area. We approached and got his last words.
Well met. So it's a secret contract then, is it? You must be moving up in the world. Congratulations.
We swung away at him, killing him in a manner of a few blows. We received the quest update that all members of the sanctuary had been slain, completing the purification, and now it's time to return back to Fort Fargut to report to Lucien Lachance. We leave the sanctuary, fast travel over, enter inside the fort, and speak with him.
The ritual of purification is complete. Well done. Sithis has been appeased, and the time has come to acknowledge and reward your unwavering loyalty. The Black Hand is most pleased with your progress. You have been invited to share in secrets that few within the Dark Brotherhood even know exist. Your life in the sanctuary is over. Those contracts are behind you. Now, you will serve the Black Hand. You will serve me. From this moment forward, you will walk in the shadows as my silencer. You will receive contracts only from me. Your new life has begun. It is quite simple, really. No longer will you receive orders directly. Instead, you will visit dead drop locations scattered throughout Cyrodiil. Your next contract can be found at the Dead Drop on Hero Hill, southeast of here. A hollow in the moss-covered rock contains all you need to know. When you leave here, we will not speak again unless I deem it necessary. Yes, there is one last thing. I have for you a very special gift. Waiting just outside is a magnificent steed named Shadowmere. She has served me well. I present her now to you as a token of my trust and love. Now go, and may Sithis guide you in this new stage of your life's dark journey. The Black Hand is the Dark Brotherhood's ruling council. That hand consists of 4 speakers and 1 listener. 4 fingers and a thumb, as it were. This you already know. What is not commonly known among our family members is that the Black Hand employs a few additional numbers. As every hand has fingers, does not every finger have a nail, a claw, a talon? Every finger of the hand, every speaker has such a nail. These are the silencers. Each speaker employs his or her own private assassin to extend their reach and strike forth as necessary. My previous silencer perished while fulfilling a contract. That emptiness has now been filled by you. It is an honor without equal.
We now receive our orders directly from Lucien via dead drops he leaves for us, leaving behind our life in the sanctuary. We operate in solitude now and have no one to fall back on for advice and tips on contracts, having just our skills and our wits. Exiting the fort and making our way to its front entrance, we see the legendary stallion called Shadowmere. Shadowmere is considered an essential being and therefore can never be truly killed. With that, thus ends the quest, the Purification. We pull up our map and take a look at where we need to go for our first dead drop order. Hero Hill is relatively close to Fort Farragut, so we can travel on Shadowmere to our destination rather quickly. Arriving at Hero Hill, we approach the quest marker, which seems to be pointing at a mossy boulder. Looking at it, we see that it's hollowed out and we can actually gain access inside of it. We interact with the secret container and pull out our first dead drop order from Lucien Lachance. The note reads, "Silencer. You are now reading your first dead drop note here on Hero Hill, which proves to me you were well appointed to the tasks that lie ahead. Journey now to Leafrot Cave. There, you will encounter an ancient necromancer who is attempting to escape death by transforming himself into a lich. The necromancer, Keladane, has not yet completed his metamorphosis, but is still immensely powerful, possibly too powerful to destroy if confronted directly. Search Leafrot Cave. Necromancers are wizards after all, and wizards are prolific by nature. Keladane surely has written records, and these records may contain evidence of some kind of weakness. Perhaps there is some other way to destroy Keladane besides direct confrontation, but destroy him you must. When the necromancer lies dead, journey to the city of Coral for your next dead drop. At the foot of the great oak, hidden in the bushes, is an old sack. Inside, you will find your reward for killing the necromancer, as well as information regarding your next contract. Serve me well, Silencer, as there's no telling just how far you might advance." This seems to be quite a change up from our usual target demographic. Normally, we're assassinating townsfolk and shady characters, not mages transitioning into liches. It feels more like a Mages Guild matter. Looking at our map, we see that Leafrot Cave lies pretty far to the east. Our closest discovered location is Periite Shrine, so that's where we head to. Arriving at Leafrot Cave and entering inside, we begin to sneak around as we aren't so sure what else is lurking around in here. Getting to the first room, we see a skeleton champion patrolling around. Quietly moving behind it, our compass brings us to a book on a nearby table. We take a look at this journal titled The Path of Transcendence. There are 5 entries in total, all written by our target Keladane. The 5th one contains quest-relevant information. To sum up the rest of the book first, the first entry details that Keladane is beginning the prerequisites required to achieving lichdom. These include isolation, starvation, and dehydration. He also goes on to mention Falcar, the previous guild hall leader of Shaden Hall, as well as Mana Marco in the form of a sovereign. Entry 2 describes how a lich's soul must remain bound to them, usually by transferring it into an object of some sort. However, once the transformation is complete, the object containing the lich's soul will have no power or domain over the lich. The 3rd entry details that Keladane has been having no luck in starting the transformation, as he is unaware on how to do so. The 4th entry says that Mana Marco himself visited Keladane in the form of visions and relayed the secrets to achieving lichdom. The 5th and final entry reads as follows. Entry 5. Through the sacrifice of many innocents, the resurrection of many servants to aid me in my tasks, and the tireless performance of a nearly week-long ritual, I have completed construction of the Sands of Resolve. The transcendence to full lichdom will not be immediate, however. The vessel has been crafted, but my energy force, my soul, must be fully transferred into it. Not even our sovereign was quite certain how long this process would take, as it varies from one necromancer to the next, based on many factors both physical and spiritual. One thing, however, is certain. This hourglass must never leave my possession until the transference is complete. I grow more powerful every day, but in truth, am more vulnerable than I've ever been. If something were to happen to the Sands of Resolve, if the hourglass should somehow leave my person, the connection between soul and vessel would be severed. To think that my work, my life, could be eradicated so easily after I've come so close to success is almost more than I can bear. It's here that we get a quest update notifying us that if we pickpocket the Sands of Resolve off of Keladane, that should lead to his death, avoiding a fight altogether. We turn around and are instantly spotted by the skeleton champion, whom conjures another skeleton to fight with him. We pull out our madness sword and begin fighting. Fortunately, the battle isn't too difficult and we slash our way through the undead. Nearby, behind a locked door, we see more undead aggroed onto us. We enter through and begin cutting away at a nether lich and its summoned skeleton hero. Once those enemies are defeated, we make our way into the next zone titled Leafrot Hollow. Here, we enter into a small space that has a hole in the ground leading further down into the cave. We drop down into it and see that just beyond a doorway is our target Keladane. Keladane is pacing back and forth through some passageways connected to a small room. Our first few attempts at sneaking up on Keladane were futile. He spotted us pretty quickly and instantly aggroed us. Just to attempt it, on one of the failed tries, we armed ourselves and went in for the attack against the dangerous necromancer. We struck him down in 3 blows, and that could have easily wrapped up the contract. We wanted to try it the recommended way, so we reloaded the save and learned his patrol patterns a little more. Discovering a great spot to tail behind him unseen, we look into his inventory and successfully remove his tethered item, the Sands of Resolve. Within moments, Keladane falls dead. It's here that we receive a quest update telling us that it's time to leave Leaf Rot Cave and head to our next dead drop. We leave the cave, and with that, thus ends the quest, Affairs of a Wizard. We look at our map and see that the next dead drop is located in the city of Coral. We fast travel over to the north gate at once. Approaching the great oak tree in the center of the court, we see that there's a sack hidden away amongst some bushes. Looking into the sack, we see our reward for the last contract as well as our next dead drop orders. The orders read, "The necromancer Keladane is dead and you are not. That's quite an accomplishment, but your work as a silencer has just begun. Your next assignment requires you to eliminate not just 1 target, but 5, an entire family in fact. The unlucky siblings are Perennia Draconis, Matthias Draconis, Andreas Draconis, Sibylla Draconis, and Celia Draconis. The locations of most of the family members are unknown, so you should begin your search with the family matron, Perennia, who resides at the farm called Applewatch. You must discern the locations of all of the Draconis family members and then systematically eliminate them. I suggest you first speak with the mother and find out if she has any valuable information on the whereabouts of her children before ending her life. When every member of the Draconis family lies dead, journey to the city of Skingrad. In the castle courtyard, you'll find a well containing your reward for the Draconis contract as well as any further assignment I may have. Opening our map, we see that Applewatch Farm lies to the west of Bruma, and lucky for us, we already have it discovered. We fast travel over and enter inside of the cottage. Here, we see a dog named Jake wandering around as well as our target, Perennia Draconis, whom lies asleep in her bed. We wake her up to speak with her.
Oh, hello there. I'm sorry, you startled me. My nerves get rattled rather easily these days, I'm afraid. Living alone will do that to you. Now, is there something I can help you with? My children? Whatever for? Oh dear. Excuse an old woman's stupidity. You're here to pick up my gift list. Using your gift service was the smartest thing I've ever done. My children are spread across Cyrodiil, and it's so hard to shop for them all. So here's the list of all my precious little ones, though I dare say they're not so little anymore. They grow up so fast, I swear. You'll notice that the list gives each child's location and some suggestions for gifts. Oh, and here's the gold I'm supposed to give you. Now please go. Those children are so dear to me, and I'd really like you to get them something special. Thanks again.
Perennia hands us the gift list for her children, and we give it a read. Dear Courier, I would like to thank you again for agreeing to assist me. I was so delighted when a friend recommended you, and will certainly employ your services again in the future if everything goes well with this round of purchases. You can imagine how difficult it is for an old woman such as myself to get around. My children, darlings that they are, deserve the best, and I'm afraid I haven't been able to properly show my love and appreciation for them in quite a few years. But all that is behind me now. Here is the list of gifts I think my family would most enjoy, as well as each child's current place of residence, which should be used for delivery. Matthias, Talos Plaza District, Imperial City. He has a home there. Matthias always was a rough and tumble lad. The last I'd heard, he'd fallen in with some pretty tough characters there in the Imperial City. I'd feel so much better if I knew he was well protected, so I'd like for you to find him a nice cuirass. Nothing too light, iron or steel should be fine. And if possible, I'd like it engraved with, "To my dear Maddie, I'll always be here to protect you. Love, Mum." Andreas, the Drunken Dragon Inn. He owns the place and lives there as well. Andy has been brewing his own beer and spirits since he was 6 years old. The opening of that inn was the happiest day of his life. I'd like for you to get him some new tavern glasses. I'm sure there are craftsmen in the Imperial City who can make a fancy set from frosted ebony or altmary crystal. Sibylla, Muck Valley Cavern. Yes, my daughter lives in a cave, and no, I'm not very happy about it. Sibby has always loved animals, almost as much as Andy loves beer, and a couple of years ago, she apparently thought it a good idea to abandon the Empire and live as a savage with the rest of the animals. In that time, I'm afraid Sibby has kind of cracked. She's basically as wild as the beasts she lives with. What can I do? I'm Sibby's mother and I'll always love her. She obviously doesn't want or need anything from civilized society, so what I'd like you to do is find a tanner and secure the largest fur blankets you can possibly find. The last time I saw Sibby, she was nearly naked, and I can't imagine there's much in that cave to keep her warm. When you do bring them to Muck Valley Cavern, be careful. The wild animals are bad enough, but Sibby herself will probably attack anyone on sight. Celia, Castle Leywin, you'll find her in the barracks. My beautiful Say, my dearest daughter broke so many hearts when she was younger, but now that she's an officer in the Imperial Legion, I'm afraid she's let herself go a bit. Not gotten fat, by Mephala, not that, but she settled into a more practical kind of look. Even a bit boyish, I guess you could say. So, what I'd like you to do is get my Say as much pretty girl stuff as you can. Flowers, perfume, Nord chocolate, that sort of thing. You've already received half of your fee in advance, and you'll receive the remainder after the gifts have been purchased and delivered, as we originally agreed. Thank you again for providing such a valuable service. Sincerely, Perennia Draconis. Now that we know not only where to find the rest of the Draconis family, but also a little bit into their lifestyle and occupations, the assassinations should come pretty easily. As Perennia returns to her bed for some more sleep, we approach with our weapon drawn. We wind up a big swing, striking her for about half of her health, and follow that up with a few more slashes, killing her quickly. Jake rushes over and lunges at us, defending his mistress bravely. We raise our sword against the hound, and Jake dies in battle. Exiting Applewatch, our first target is Matthias, who currently resides in the Talos Plaza district. During his day job, he works as a guard in the basement of the Umbacano Manor within the district. We fast travel over, approach the home, and actually see Matthias standing outside of the door. We approach him to hear some dialogue.
There. Yeah? What are you looking at? Okay, well then, I'm going to go about my business. And stop staring at me, would you? You're giving me the creeps.
It would be too risky to kill him out in the open, so we wait until the daytime and enter into the manor. We see Matthias is in here with us, and we follow him down into the basement. Upon seeing us down there with him, he quickly approaches us and asks us to leave. We speak with him again and try to provoke a reaction.
Yeah? What are you looking at? What? A dead man? You got some kind of death wish, is that it? Slave of what? Oh, all right then. You're some kind of crazy, is that it? Come here then. Show me what you've got.
Soon, Matthias gets angry enough and begins attacking us, forfeiting any claim he had to self-defense. We draw our blade and make quick work of the Breton. We even went as far as toying with his poor bladesmanship, really savoring the kill. Once Matthias was dead, we left Umbacano Manor and sent out for the next target, Celia Draconis. We opened our map and fast traveled over to the city of Leywin. Celia is an officer in the Imperial Legion, but has been stationed in town as a guard. Arriving there, we seek out Celia in the streets and attempt to speak with her. However, we were wanted for some crime, likely the killing of Adamus Philida, and she had us hauled away to the castle to pay our fines. Once that was all taken care of, we sought her back down in the streets, as now it was more personal, and devised quite the devious plan. We spoke with her to explore some dialogue options.
Yes? Is there something you need? Hello? Did you hear me? I asked if you needed anything. Well then, I've got duties to tend to, so if you'll excuse me. My mother? Oh, do you know her? She's such a sweet woman. I've been a terrible daughter, I'm afraid. I simply must visit more often. Anyway, I have duties to tend to. If you see my mother, tell her I'll visit soon. I promise. Oh, do you now? Well then, far be it for me to deny you such a reasonable request. Guards, I need assistance. This person is resisting arrest.
Celia draws her sword and begins to come after us. We start to run off and ensure that she's still following. We lead her to the Fighters Guild Hall and enter inside. Little does she know, we're the master of this guild, and our loyal companions don't want to see us get hurt. She follows us within, and in a flash, 3 members of the guild come to our aid and start cutting her down. She puts up a good fight and stays standing for quite some time. However, she inevitably succumbs to her wounds and dies. The next Draconis on our list is Andreas, who appears to be the proprietor at the Drunken Dragon Inn. The Drunken Dragon Inn is located right beside Adatar, west of Fort Telemann and east of Arpenia. We already have it discovered and fast travel over. Entering inside, the inn is relatively quiet, with just an Imperial Legion soldier lingering on the inside. Andreas is asleep on a bedroll behind the bar counter. We wake him up to hear some dialogue.
Looking for a room? All right then. You're not one for talking. I can respect that. Well, if you need anything, just let me know. Kill me? What is this? Who are you? I don't know who sent you, but you won't take me down without a fight. So go ahead. Make your move!
Andreas was provoked and begins attacking us. We reload the save and explore the final dialogue option.
My mother? No! What have you done to her? I'll kill you! Ah!
Both dialogue pathways lead to Andreas attacking us. However, because he appears to be the aggressor, the Imperial Legion officer comes to our aid, unknowingly killing the innocent man. The final Draconis family member, Sibylla, apparently resides in Muck Valley Cavern. Peering at our map, we see that it's located near the western bank of Lake Popad. We fast travel over to the nearby settlement of Harlan's Watch and make our way over. We arrive at the cave relatively shortly and enter inside. Here, we face a variety of rats and bears, both of which are no problem for our enchanted ebony blade. Eventually, we make our way through the tight tunnels and open rooms to face down a brown bear, which proves to be a bit more challenging than the black bears, but still very killable. Behind the bear is Sibylla Draconis, whom, upon seeing us, instantly turns aggro, as suggested per Perennia's note. She isn't a very difficult fight for us, and after a few blows back and forth, the entire Draconis family line lies dead. We receive a quest update that it's time for our next contract. We exit Muck Valley Cavern, and with that, thus ends the quest, Next of Kin. We open up our map and see that our next dead drop is in the courtyard of Castle Skingrad. Fast traveling over and entering the castle grounds, we approach the well, which doubles as a storage space. Peering inside, we find our reward as well as our next set of orders. The note reads, "Are you ready to get your hands dirty, Silencer? Your next target is a Khajiit nobleman by the name of Jagasta, who can be found at his home in the city of Bruma." Jagasta was recently offered the hand of a prominent Cyrodiil noble's daughter, but turned down the offer when he learned of the girl's rather negligible dowry. The girl's family is outraged, of course, and has hired the Dark Brotherhood to make Jagasta pay for his insolence. Go to Jagasta's house in Bruma and end his miserable life. But be warned, the Khajiit is rich and bored and spends most of his time honing his skills in unarmed combat. Any opponent who can kill with merely his hands is not to be trifled with, so tread carefully. Even worse, Jagasta is aware someone may be trying to kill him and has bribed the guards not to interfere if a fight should spill out into the city streets. When the target has been eliminated, you will find your next dead drop in a rotten box under the old bridge just south of the Imperial City. The box will contain your reward for killing Jagasta, as well as information regarding your next contract. We pop open our map and make way for the city of Bruma. It's quite intriguing that Jagasta has some foresight of his assassination, and that the guards won't do anything to him or us if they see us fighting to the death. We arrive at the Khajiit's doorstep and enter inside. The house is still and quiet with no signs of life. We make our way to the basement and look around a bit. We manage to lay eyes on a hatch that leads into Jagasta's secret training room. Taking a few steps and poking our heads into the area, we see the hardy Khajiit turning in for bed. We approach him to hear all dialogue options.
I don't recall inviting you into my house. Leave quickly, or we will have a problem.
So, the thief opts for the stoic approach, hmm? Oh, my friend. I'm afraid you've broken into your last house. What? Who are you to come into my home, to speak to me like a petulant child? Do you know who I am? Do you have any idea what you're dealing with? Say this. What is this treachery? Who sent you? I don't know who is behind this outrage, but I will have blood. To the void with you, assassin.
No matter the outcome, Jagasta turns aggressive and begins to fight us. Lucky for us, his barehanded attacks don't do nearly as much damage as Lucien Lechance suggested they might. Just to see what would happen, we fled Jagasta's home and brought the battle out into the streets of Bruma. As the note mentioned, the guards, nor even the citizens, batted an eye in our direction. We started to fight back against the Khajiit with our blade, which seemed like an unfair fight. To Jagasta's credit, his health didn't go down that easily, but the battle was still one-sided. Soon, we cut him down in the streets and received a quest update that we can go to the next dead drop location. What's most interesting about Jagasta is that if we re-enter back inside his home and go to the basement level, we'll see a locked keg standing in the corner, secured by a very hard lock. If we successfully get into it, we see that it contains a black hand robe and hood, as well as the 5 tenets, which are officially sanctioned by the Dark Brotherhood. Why Jagasta has these in his possession is anyone's guess, but something is certainly fishy. With that, thus ends the quest, Broken Vows. Opening our map and taking a look around, we see that our next dead drop is located at Old Bridge, which is south of the Imperial City. We fast travel over to our nearest discovered location, the Imperial City waterfront, and make our way there. Arriving at the bridge and walking underneath it, we see the aforementioned rotten box and look inside. It holds our reward as well as the next set of orders. The note reads, "Jagasta is dead. Well done. I was right about you, Silencer. You are a useful tool indeed. Let's see if you can continue to impress me. You must journey now to the flooded mine. There, you will find Shaliz, an Argonian hunter who was banished from her village near the Black Marsh Morrowind border for the brutal murder of a dark elven family. Relatives of the murdered family members have located Shaliz and demand retribution. And since the assignment is a bit far for Morrowind's Morag Tong to handle, the Dark Brotherhood has been commissioned to perform the elimination. Be warned, Silencer, Shaliz is a skilled and deadly hunter and will fight like the desperate fugitive she is. After Shaliz has been eliminated, your reward and another contract will be waiting at the dead drop location in a coffin just outside the ruins of Fort Redmond. Peering at our map, we see that Flooded Mine is just north of the Bay Rowan stables of Breville, so we fast travel over there. This certainly feels more like a contract for the Fighters Guild, or even a job the Imperial Army should handle, but nevertheless, we'll take care of it. Arriving at the mine and entering inside, it's partially flooded, as suggested by the name, with a few spots we can pop our head out of to breathe. We swim around, following our compass, and eventually, we see a figure emerge from the murky waters, sword in hand. Shaliz is aggroed onto us, swimming in for the kill. We pull out our weapon and the battle begins. Her hits are decent, and if we didn't have our best set of heavy armor on, they might have even proved to be a problem. With every swing that we landed, her health crept lower at a good pace, demonstrating that she had above average health. In the end, she was no match for us, and Shaliz was killed in the watery tunnels of Flooded Mine. We receive a quest update that we can leave the cave and head to our next dead drop, thus ending the quest, Final Justice. We look at our map and see that the next dead drop is located at Fort Redmond in County Leyawiin. Our nearest location discovered is Nocturnal's Daedric Shrine, so we fast travel there and make our way over. We arrive at Fort Redmond and enter inside of its walls. Just by the doors leading into the depths of the fort, we see a coffin positioned upright against the wall. We interact with it and see that our reward, as well as the next contract, are inside of it. The contract reads, "If you're reading this note, Shaliz is dead. You've done the world a great service, Silencer. It's time to continue the good work. Your next target is a traveling Dark Elf merchant by the name of Alval Uvani, who is currently renting a house in the city of Leowin. Uvani is a well-respected tradesman back in his native Morrowind, but his business often takes him very far from home. Therein lies the problem. Alval Uvani's wife has become disillusioned with her husband's repeated, extended absence and wishes to dissolve their marriage, and has sought the Dark Brotherhood's assistance. Lucky for us, Cyrodiil is a bit beyond the reach of Morrowind's Morag Tong. Alval Uvani is currently traveling around Cyrodiil and is never in one place for more than a couple of days. In this dead drop, you will also find a schedule detailing the Dark Elf's whereabouts. Use it to locate him and plan your elimination. Be aware, however, that because he is forced to travel alone to the farthest reaches of the Empire, Uvani has learned to defend himself. He is a master of the Destruction School of Magicka and is no stranger to killing. When Alval Uvani lies rotting, journey to the market district of the Imperial City. There, you will find a shop called Stonewall Shields. Your dead drop is located behind that building in a hollowed out tree stump. As usual, you will find your reward for the previous contract, as well as information on your next. Yes, I must mention one last detail. Apparently, Alval Uvani suffers from a rare Dark Elf condition, a serious allergy to honey. If you could somehow get Uvani to drink the honey-based spirit, mead, perhaps by replacing his food, he would suffer from complete paralyzation. This would certainly make the Dark Elf a bit easier to deal with. We close the note and take a look at Alval's schedule. As he travels around Cyrodiil, Alval Uvani could be found at the following locations on the following days: Morndis Tyrdes, Breville, the Lonely Suitor Lodge; Middis Tyrdes, Skingrad, the Westweald Inn; Freydis Lordis, Bruma, Olav's Tap and Tack; Sundis, Leowin, Alval Uvani's house, rented property. Keep in mind that there may be some variation based on the time it takes for him to get to the different cities. Closing the schedule, we take a look at what day it is to see where Alval will be situated. The day is Tyrdes, which means he is currently residing at the Lonely Suitor Lodge in Breville. We open our map, see the quest marker is correct, and fast travel over there at once. Entering inside of the inn, Alval can be seen storming through the place, showing that he's likely feeling uncomfortable and on edge at the moment. We speak with him to hear what dialogue can be offered.
You get any closer, and I'll turn your bones to ash. Back off. I have no time for your pathetic attempts at small talk. Now walk away before I get nasty.
He's very rude and dismissive, which isn't very surprising based off of what Lucian mentioned about him in the note. It would have been really easy to strike him down right here and now and just be done with the contract, accepting whatever charges we face, but I really wanted to explore his honey allergy. Interestingly, neither the Lonely Suitor Lodge, Silver Home on the Water, or any of the local merchants sold mead. So, we decided to let Alval travel to the Westweald Inn in Skingrad on Middis. We finally found the honey-based beverage and got the chance to place it in front of him. The first time we did it, he stood up, put it into his inventory, and walked away. The second time we did it, he likely pulled the first bottle of mead out and began drinking it, as he soon started to react to it.
Benigorn, the new master can rebuild the Fighters Guild to its former glory.
Body frozen.
Certainly not.
Must have been
So long.
the damn
Be
mead.
seeing you.
No, you filthy gutter snipe. You won't get away with this. By Sithis, if I could only move my arms, I'd rip that smile right off your face.
Now, we wanted to get even more creative and see if the locals could kill him for us. We cast a frenzy spell on Alval, inflicting it on 3 other bystanders, and watched them all run around, attacking each other in a craze. Unfortunately, none of them really went after our target, so we took out our longsword and cut down the Dark Elf. We received a quest update that we can now go to the next dead drop. Interestingly, we decided to take Alval's house key and go into his home in Leowin. Inside was completely silent and still. It actually gave me the creeps just being in there. Wandering upstairs into his bedroom, just above his bed is a painting that's also a hidden wall safe. It's secured with a very hard lock, and once it's cracked, we see he's in possession of a blackhand robe and hood, as well as the 5 tenets, exactly the same as Jagasta. Something is definitely not adding up with our last few contracts. They've been out of character for what we normally deal with, and a few of our marks have even held onto Brotherhood relics. We're very puzzled by this, and we find ourselves asking more and more questions. With that, thus ends the quest, A Matter of Honor. We open our map and see that the next dead drop is located in the Imperial City Market District, just behind Stonewall Shields. We fast travel over and make our way to the small clearing behind all of the buildings. Here, we see an odd looking tree stump which, upon closer inspection, has been hollowed out and turned into a container. We look inside and see our reward as well as information on the next contract. The note reads, Alval Uvani is dead, just like all the others. You continue to impress me, Silencer, and I am only too eager to indulge in your homicidal instincts. Your next target is a savage Nord barbarian living alone and exposed at a small campsite on the summit of Knoll Mountain. This barbarian, Havelstein Horblood, by name, savagely butchered the chieftain of a mead hall on the island of Solstheim. The chieftain's sister has foregone the Nord custom of extracting the monetary retribution of Weregild and instead wants Horblood to pay with his life. You, dear Silencer, will help put her family at peace. You are to go to Knoll Mountain, locate Havelstein Horblood, and send his soul to Sithis. When Horblood has been executed, journey to the alien ruin of Nornall. In the flooded section of that ruin, you will find a chest submerged in the water. As you may have guessed, the chest contains your reward for killing Havelstein Horblood and your next contract. Popping open our map and scrolling north, we see that Knoll Mountain is high up in the Gerals. Our closest known location in proximity and elevation is Dragonclaw Rock. We fast travel over and traverse up and across the mountains with Shadowmere. We approach the camp and see a sleeping Nord, presumably Havelstein Horblood, as well as his pet wolf, Redmaw. Eventually, we get in close and Horblood wakes up and arms himself, instantly turning aggressive towards us. Redmaw initiates the fight by lunging at us, and Shadowmere comes to our aid, making it a fair fight in terms of numbers. Together, we take out Redmaw first, as one swift heavy attack does the trick. Then, we focus our efforts on Havelstein, whom swings an enchanted ebony battle axe at us. He has quite a good amount of health and if left unchecked, would certainly serve as a problem to fight against. With a few coordinated attacks, we were able to successfully slay Havelstein Horblood. We received a quest update about the next dead drop. Our contracts haven't really been making too much sense lately. A few of our targets have had Black Hand apparel on them, and others have been isolated and holed up in remote locations of Cyrodiil, expecting trouble to come. Even this latest contract clearly defied Nord tradition of monetary retribution and had our secret faction of killers do the dirty work for them, which is almost unheard of. The questions and concerns continue to pile up, and with that, thus ends the quest, The Coldest Sleep. After killing Havelstein, we open up our map to see where our next dead drop is located. We remember that it's in an alien ruin called Nornall. Nornall is located east of the Imperial City and south of Lake Popad. Our closest discovered location is Cracked Wood Cave, so that's where we fast travel to. From here, we head north-northeast and find ourselves outside of the ancient ruins. Inside, we face down a few mud crabs before we have to swim through flooded tunnels to get to the cache. Once we gain access to the submerged chest and open it up, we see our reward is in there as well as our next contract. Pulling out the note and reading it, it says, "My compliments on another job well done. Havelstein Horblood was more swine than man and deserved to die quivering like an animal. You must not stop, you must kill again. Your next target is a wood elf named Ungolum, who resides in the city of Breville. Breville is also home to an ancient statue known as the Lucky Old Lady. It is seen as a symbol of good luck and prosperity, and the fools of Breville often speak to the statue and wish for good tidings. Every night, poor love-struck Ungolum visits the lady and pleads desperately for the heart of a young maiden. This maiden is married, and her husband has learned of Ungolum's affection for his bride. He fears the competition, it would seem, and has commissioned the Dark Brotherhood to help in the matter. You must go to Breville, locate Ungolum, and kill him. The Wood Elf owns a house in the city, but he spends his days securely locked inside. I recommend you lie in wait at the lucky old lady statue, and then eliminate Ungolem when he arrives for his nightly visit. He's generally there between the hours of 6 p.m. and 1 a.m. By all accounts, Ungolem is a deadly archer and a fearless opponent. I also have a reason to believe he is expecting trouble, so if Ungolem senses danger, he may attack you on sight. And, like the Khajiit Jagasta, Ungolem has bribed the guards to look the other way if there is a fight, so they won't interfere. Be vigilant and bring the Wood Elf down. You must not fail. When Ungolem's body lies broken at the foot of his dear lady, you must journey to the city of Anvil. Your dead drop is in a barrel located behind the statue in the pond. As is standard, your reward and next contract will be waiting. We have yet another contract where our target has been tipped off about our arrival and has even bribed the guards to look the other way should a fight ensue. We leave the Iliad ruin, pull up our map, and fast travel over to the north gate of Breville. From here, we make our way to the lucky old lady statue and activate it, receiving a blessing. We have to wait until at least 6 p.m. before the Wood Elf, Ungolem, shows up. So, we wait around for a bit, then lo and behold, we see that our target is by the statue. Turning the corner, we're instantly aggroed by Ungolem and a fight breaks out between us. He knocks his arrows on his enchanted bow and lets them loose. These hits actually do some decent damage to us as his weapons are enchanted, and like the note says, he's a highly skilled archer. His health isn't so bad either, as when we swing away at him, it doesn't go down by much. Granted, our sword has run out of charge. He gets our health down quite a bit, and we realize that if we don't get him in check soon, we'll be bested in battle. We get in close and slash away at him until finally the Wood Elf is killed. We receive a quest update, but even stranger, we see a notification in the top left corner that says, your blood turns to ice as a familiar shadow draws near.
No! No! I'm too late. I thought I could get here in time. Thought I could stop you! By Sithis, what have you done? What madness has claimed you? You have betrayed me. You have betrayed the Dark Brotherhood. Why? I am here to end your miserable life. But I can see the confusion in your eyes. You have no idea what I'm talking about, do you? Your first dead drop contract. You carried that out, killed Celadon. After that, you eliminated the Draconis family, as ordered. Then, betrayal. Your dead drops went unvisited. Your targets ignored. Instead, you have been systematically killing off all of the members of the Black Hand. Jagasta, Shali, Zuval Uvani, Havelstein Horblood, speakers and silencers all, and Ungolem, the listener himself. The surviving members of the Black Hand know you're innocent. They know you are only following orders. They believe I am the traitor. The traitor somehow switched your orders and has been sending you to the wrong dead drops. You and I have been deceived, dear friend. We must find out who is behind this betrayal. We haven't much time. I am hunted day and night by the Black Hand. They want me dead. Here is what you must do. Go now to your next dead drop, lie in wait, and confront whomever drops off the false contract. Uncover the true traitor's identity, and then come see me. I'll be in hiding. Fort Farragut is no longer secure. It's under watch by the Black Hand. I'll wait for you in Applewatch, the farm where you killed the old Draconis woman. It should be empty and safe. Now go, and may Sithis help us all.
Everything makes sense now. The emotions written in each contract, the targets, their whereabouts and social statuses, the Dark Brotherhood robes and literature. Of course, we've been killing off all of the Dark Brotherhood members. Jagasa's reaction now makes sense as to why he called our actions treacherous. Lucian is now being held responsible for our actions, and we fear what might become of him if we don't set the record straight. Thus ends the quest, A Kiss Before Dying. As per request of Lucian LeChance, we open our map and scroll over to Anvil, seeing that the theoretical next dead drop is near the main gate. Fast traveling over and making our way to the arrow, we come across an empty barrel, meaning we're just in time to catch whoever is behind the betrayal. Waiting around for a bit, we notice someone walking in the distance. Surely enough, their path leads them off of the main road and towards the dead drop. We can finally make out some details. It's a young male high elf wearing a huntsman's vest and matching pants, as well as a pair of moccasins. As he gets closer, we see that it's none other than Enelroth, the apprentice smith to Veril Morvain at Morvain's Peacemakers. We approach and confront him.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do anything wrong. It was the robed man. He paid me to put those things in the barrel. I don't know his name, and his face was in shadow. He called to me yesterday as I walked by the lighthouse. I think he lives there. Or he did, anyway. He told me he was leaving Anvil. I'm sorry, but that's all I know. No, please! The lighthouse, just outside the city walls. I think the robed man lives there, in the cellar. I don't know what goes on down there, but there's a horrible smell coming from underneath that door. It's like something died inside. Listen, that's all I know, really. Maybe Ulfgar Fallguy can tell you more. He's the lighthouse keeper and probably rented out the cellar. Talk to Ulfgar. He's sure to have the key to the cellar. You know, if you want to get down there. Now, please, just let me go.
We decide to read the next set of orders to see whom the traitor wanted us to kill next. Ungolem is dead. Silencer, you've served me far better than I could have ever imagined. Is there no challenge you can't meet? No opponent you can't best? We shall see. Your next target is a high elf whore named Arkwin. She has been difficult to locate, but you might try asking around the Grey Mare in Coral or the Bridge Inn in Shadenhall. Like all of your targets, Arkwin is a skilled fighter and will not be eliminated easily. When Arkwin is dead, I will have your reward and the contract waiting at the next dead drop, under one of the beds in the Leeuwin Coast Guard station. This order is seemingly more personal as well as less detailed. We could only have hoped that we would have gotten tipped off at this point. Enelroth wasn't the traitor, quite obviously, although we don't know who the other members of the Black Hand are, so your guess is as good as mine. The traitor lives in the cellar of the lighthouse, so we travel over there at once, make our way to the top, and speak with Ulfgar Fallguy.
Well now, what might you want? Oh, do you now? And just why should I give you that? Oh, well, in that case, here you go. Look, I got nothing else to say to you. Just leave me be.
With the key in our possession, we travel back down and make our way to the cellar door, unlock it, and enter inside. We're immediately hit with a foul stench and the sound of flies buzzing. Carefully and slowly making our way down, we turn the corner to reveal a nightmare. Slaughtered animals line the floor in pools of blood. Even worse, we get a little further, and that's when the human remains start showing up. We see old, rotten, and decayed corpses, as well as fresh ones that are simply titled Unknown Victims. What we need seems to be located behind a locked door, so we gain entrance inside and are immediately attacked by a crazed dog. Quickly putting it down, we look around the room to reveal further troubling sights. There are more recently killed victims, more slaughtered animals, and there's even a head on a platter surrounded by candles titled Mother's Head. Across from this desecration is a book titled The Traitor's Diary. The first page reads, "It's all right, Mother. It's almost over. I'm close. So very close. How long have we struggled? How long have we waited? Too long, I know. But it's almost over, I promise. The second page simply has "Kill him" written over and over again with no spaces. Page 3 onwards reads, "Mommy, mommy, as you lie in the dark, man comes and makes you die. My daddy's hands are red with guilt because he killed the life we built. I hate it. All this lying, all this pretending. Sithis and the 5 tenets be damned. How long do I have to live by their rules? How long before I get my chance? I saw Lucien Lechance yesterday. He was in the sanctuary talking with Ochiva. He was right there, so close I could have severed his spine in less than a heartbeat. Oh, mother, never before have I had to exercise such self-control. What's sickeningly ironic is that it was the Dark Brotherhood's discipline that allowed me to restrain myself. I've been a part of their family for so long. It's a part of me, whether I like it or not. And in all that time, I've fooled them all. They see me as a fellow member of the Brother, a trusted family member. Someday soon, I will learn the truth about the Night Mother, and when I do, I will use that trust to get close to her. Close enough so that I may rend the head from her body, just as Lucien Lechance did to you so long ago. Damn it, Mother, why did it have to be this way? Maria was so beautiful. She was perfect in so many ways. Why couldn't she handle the truth? Why couldn't she realize her family didn't really love her? She was a murderer like the rest of us, paid to kill in the name of Sithis. I really thought we could be together, make a real family with real love. But she told me she could never accept your place in my life. So now she's gone. She didn't deserve to live after the horrible things she said about you. I never should have told her, I know. I'm so sorry. It will never happen again, and the others will never find her. Don't worry, there's nothing left of her to find. Page 9 is confusing, but it reads, I like to lie in the grass and watch the ants and wish I were one of them in their underground mazes, safe from the darkness of people, horrible people. I will kill them all, kill the ants, kill the people, kill everything. Page 10 continues with, I did it, Mother. I killed them all. I killed them and I cursed them to wander their ship in undeath for all eternity. They came to talk to the old man in the lighthouse. When they saw me, they could have kept walking. But no, they laughed. They laughed at me, Mother. They called me names. They said I was strange and I was a human rat living here in the cellar of the lighthouse. They did not know who they were dealing with. So I snuck on board later that night and I slit their throats. Every last one of them. So there the Serpent's Wake sits. The ghost ship of Anvil, they'll call it now. Ha 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 ha. Some wonderful news, Mother. Advancement at last. Lucien Lechance paid a visit to the sanctuary today to talk with me. He told me the Black Hand needed my services. One of the other speakers is looking to replace his assistant who was killed fulfilling a contract. So Lucien Lechance suggested me. I met with the speaker and will serve as his new silencer. Ha! Lechance might as well have given me a contract to kill the Night Mother herself. I am now one step closer to realizing our dream. I will learn the Night Mother's identity and tear the heart from her chest. Oh yes, and I have something special planned for Lechance himself. Mommy, I'm so afraid. I miss you, Mommy. I just want you to kiss me again. Father prayed, and guess who came? The hooded man in Sithis' name, who left but then he came once more to pass through window, wall, and door. I lie in fear, my mouth agape, as wicked blade did cleave your nape. For I was watching neath the bed to see the falling of your head, and when your face lay on the floor, our loving eyes did meet once more. And so I pledged to you that day, the Brotherhood would dearly pay, and just as they took me from you, I'd find and kill their mother too. But there's some place I need to start, and that's with Father's beating heart, and when that's done, I'll sing and dance to celebrate a dead Lechance. The end of page 16 and the beginning of page 17 reads, green, blue, red, yellow, orange, green, blue, red, yellow, orange, over and over again, until it changes to simply black, 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 black. Then, the diary continues with, I've been careless, too careless, the bodies, the burnings. Killing that fool Blanchard was the worst mistake I've made so far. I was seen, I was cloaked and hooded and escaped into shadow so no one learned my true identity. But now, the Black Hand is suspicious. They suspect treachery, suspect a traitor. I must be more cautious than ever. When in the snow, I like to lie and fold my arms and wait to die. I've been switching them, switching the dead drops. It was so easy. I tracked Lechance from his lair at Fort Farragut to the first dead drop location. After Lechance placed the orders, when I was sure he was gone, I switched them. It was so easy. Now LeChance's fool silencer is working for us, Mother. Oh, the fun we'll have. One of the Black Hand told me they haven't seen such an ambitious family member since I first joined the Dark Brotherhood. I will use that very ambition to my own advantage. The fool will never question the dead drops, and as I write this, is en route to the first target, one of the very members of the Black Hand. And so it begins. LeChance's silencer will kill one high-ranking brother member, then another, and so on until the entire family implodes. Eventually, as is the custom, the survivors will consult the Night Mother and seek her guidance. When that day comes, I will be there, ready to plunge a blade into that dark whore's fetid heart. And finally, the last page has Lucy and LeChance will die written backwards. We close the book and receive a quest update that we have enough to prove Lucien's innocence. Interesting to note is that the traitor referred to Shadenhall's sanctuary as the sanctuary, which means that it's likely the only one operating right now. Or at least it was. I don't know if that was obvious or not already, but it's certainly news to me. We leave the cellar, open our map, and fast travel over to Apple Watch Farm at once. Arriving at the shack, we enter inside.
Silencer, at last you've arrived. Fear not, for the crisis that has threatened the Dark Brotherhood has finally come to an end. I am Arquin, speaker for the Black Hand. As you can see, we have dealt with the betrayer, Lucien LeChance. No longer will you serve as his puppet. It seems LeChance wanted revenge against the Dark Brotherhood for some reason, and used you to do his dirty work. But now we can begin anew. I bestow upon you the title of Speaker. You will take Lucien LeChance's place on the Black Hand. Welcome. As you know, the Black Hand is now in a state of disarray. LeChance ordered you to kill us off. We five, including you, are now all that remain. Even worse, you killed the listener! The Black Hand without a listener is like a hand with no thumb. Even the listener's successor is dead. So, we have no choice but to invoke an ancient ritual. We must wake the Night Mother from her slumber and seek her guidance. Between the hours of midnight and 3 a.m., ask me about the Night Mother, and we will away to Our Lady's home. Only then will the ritual begin. When we confronted LeChance, he tried to defend himself, tried to declare his innocence. But we would not hear his treacherous lies. As you can see, he was no match for the combined power of the Black Hand, even weakened as we are.
We're blindsided by the remaining members of the Black Hand, whom have already beaten us to Lucien LeChance. Arquin, the person we were actually supposed to assassinate if LeChance never stepped in, gave us a formal introduction. Wandering over, we see the butchered leftovers of a man strung up from the ceiling. Interacting with the corpse reads, Lucien LeChance has been murdered, stripped, and mutilated by the Black Hand. Apparently, they thought he was the traitor and punished him accordingly. This means that the real traitor is still alive, got their revenge on LeChance, and is currently present in this room. Arquin gifted us a Black Hand robe and hood and promoted us to Speaker. The hood is enchanted and fortifies Sneak, Illusion, Marksman, Blade, and Speechcraft all for 4 points. The robe fortifies the same skills all for 11 points. We look at the remaining other 3 Black Hand members and make their acquaintance to try and snuff out the real traitor, starting with Belisarius Arius.
Greetings, Speaker. Most of my time is now spent on administrative duties. I have not had blood on my hands in far too long. Killing LeChance was pure ecstasy.
Then we move on to Banis Alor.
Our troubles are almost at an end, brother. Soon we will visit the Night Mother, and she will surely guide us. The 4 of us attacking him in unison was as graceful and beautiful as a ballet. The flashing of steel, the spraying of blood.
Finally, we speak with Matthew Bellamont.
Hello, fellow speaker. Welcome to the Black Hand. So nice to see you're in one piece. You should take some time to admire his corpse. It really is a thing of beauty. The punctures and slashes are almost poetic.
We picked up Mother's head in the lighthouse cellar before leaving. We were fumbling around in our inventory when we accidentally dropped it in front of Matthew Bellamont. He had quite a strange reaction to it.
What? What is that? Is that a head? No, it can't be. Sorry, Speaker, I'm distracted.
Interaction aside, one of these 4 assassins is the real traitor to the Dark Brotherhood. They're so close to eradicating every member, and even worse, they're about to come face to face with the Night Mother, thus ending the quest, following a lead. It's now time to travel with the remaining members to seek wisdom from the Night Mother. We wait until midnight and speak once again with Arkwin.
Dear Speaker, when darkness shrouds the Empire, we can travel to the resting place of the Night Mother and begin the ritual of awakening. The Night Mother must be awakened so that we may seek her guidance. Are you ready to travel now to her resting place? Very good, and so it begins, the Black Hand's journey into a darkness few can imagine. Let us be off. The Night Mother awaits.
We're met with a loading screen and then brought over to the location of the Night Mother herself.
Behold the Night Mother. The locals call this statue the Lucky Old Lady. They have no idea how lucky they really are. For this stone effigy masks the entrance into the Dark Brotherhood's most revered unholy site, the crypt of the Night Mother herself. In a moment we will begin. I will recite an incantation, and we can proceed down into the crypt and seek an audience with the Night Mother. I know this is all very overwhelming, dear child. Just follow along and you'll be fine. Now, let's go see what the future holds, shall we? Unholy matron, we of the Black Hand beseech you. Reveal yourself now, most magnificent Night Mother, so that we may seek your guidance.
The statue twists and configures in horrible ways, letting out a blood-curdling scream. A secret passage to the tomb has opened up. The other 4 members make their way down. We follow suit, at the ready for the traitor to make their move.
What is the meaning of this desecration? Who has disturbed my ancient slumber?
Dearest Night Mother, most unholy maiden, please, we beg your mercy in this our time of need. The Black Hand seeks your guidance.
Ah, yes, I have been expecting you. The listener now kneels by Sithis, as does his successor. There is a traitor amongst you.
The traitor is dead, dear Mother. We have come now to ask your blessing. Anoint one of us your listener so we can restore the Black Hand.
Foolish little girl. Lucien Lachance served Sithis till his dying breath. The Black Hand remains tainted by betrayal. Restoration is impossible.
Enough of this. You will all suffer for the pain you have caused me. I will destroy your Night Mother, and the Dark Brotherhood will fall.
What treachery! The traitor still lives. It is Matthew Bellamont. Do not let him harm the Night Mother. Kill him!
Matthew Bellamont reveals himself to be the traitor and cuts down Banis and Belisarius, leaving only us and Arkwin left. Matthew turns his attention on us and begins attacking. He uses a dagger of numbing to inflict damage, however, given our stats and equipment, it really doesn't do that much. We tank while Arkwin slowly hacks away at him, lowering his health. His total HP isn't so bad, it takes Arkwin a while to get it down, and we even had to put in a few hits ourselves. Finally, with one swift heavy attack, Matthew Bellamont has been killed.
So, at last we meet. I have been following your strange journey through the Dark Brotherhood, young one. Your killing of the old man Bainland, the execution of Adamus Villager, the way you stalked and murdered each member of the Draconis family. Your purification of the Jadenhall Sanctuary. You, a mere underling, even managed to single-handedly eliminate half of my Black Hand. I know, dear child, I know. You carried out your orders to the letter in the name of the Black Hand. How could I be anything but happy with you? No, my anger lies with the rest of my children. You see, I have known of Matthew Belmont's intentions since he was just a boy. I knew of his thirst for vengeance. I could have informed my listener, but I refused. Refused to reward such incompetence. Ungoliant was weak. Indeed, I allowed Matthew Belmont to proceed on his destructive course, just as I allowed you to intercept him. Don't you see? Our dread father foresaw your defeat of the traitor here in this very crypt. You have been chosen. You are to be my new listener. You possess strength and cunning, and a heart as black as midnight. You were marked by Sithis the moment you emerged from your mother's womb. Go, take a few moments to collect yourself. Meditate upon all that has transpired. Help yourself to any treasures this crypt may offer. When you are ready, speak with me again, and I will deliver you safely to the only place you can truly call home, the Jadenhall Sanctuary. There is much work to be done, and when you are back in the sanctuary, speak with Arquen. She will serve as your humble servant and guide.
The Night Mother wishes us to become the next listener, which is the highest honor one can receive within the Dark Brotherhood. Before we begin our new journey, we make sure that we take everything of value from this crypt, as once we get sent back to the sanctuary, there's no way we can enter back inside of here. At the back of the crypt, we see the skeletons of 5 children as well as 1 adult skeleton. As the tale goes, the Night Mother killed her own children in order to appease the Dreadfather, Sithis. Most believe this story to be fiction or metaphorical, but appears to be very literal. Once all of our business has been taken care of, we speak once again with the Night Mother.
You've returned. I trust you've weighed the importance of your new position. For you will soon hear words that will change lives, alter destinies. And I hope you've taken everything you desire from my crypt. Once you leave, you will be unable to return. Now, are you ready to begin your new life? Very good. Now begins your true journey. We will soon become very intimate, you and I. Before I send you away, however, I would like to present you with a rather special reward. I see you still possess the Blade of Woe, the weapon given you by Lucien Lachance when you first met. Allow me now to unlock its true power. Yes, you will now find the Blade of Woe a bit more potent than it was. Now go. Leave this crypt and serve our dread father till your dying breath.
We're teleported back to the Jadenhall Sanctuary and speak with Arquen.
Honored listener, I offer myself as your humble servant and guide. Please allow me to mentor you in your new role. Here's what I believe we should do next. I will stay here and attempt to re-establish this sanctuary. I will begin recruiting new members. You must fulfill your new duties. The statue in Breville serves as a conduit between the Night Mother and the listener. Once a week, you must visit the statue, Talk to it. You will be presented with a list of names and locations. These are people who have prayed to the Night Mother. They request a visit from a speaker to arrange someone's assassination. All you need to do is visit the statue once a week, get the list of names and locations, and pass it on to me here in the sanctuary. Do this, and I will give you your share of the sanctuary's weekly earnings. There's so much work to be done. So much work.
Arkwin has told us that our duties as the listener are now solely to relay contracts from the Night Mother to her in exchange for the guild's weekly earnings. Thus ends the quest, Honor Thy Mother. We take a look at the Blade of Woe that's been upgraded by the Night Mother. It now has the enchantments of Damage Willpower, Health, and Magicka for 25 points on strike, as well as Demoralize up to level 7. We leave the Sanctuary and fast travel over to the city of Breville. Here, we make our way over to the Lucky Old Lady statue, secretly the Night Mother's crypt. It's been transformed back to its proper structure. We approach and interact with it.
Greetings, listener. Come close and I will share with you the information I have garnered. For someone has prayed to the Night Mother yet again. The Dark Brotherhood must seek out a Nord named Sonia. She has need of our services, and we are only too happy to oblige. Your speaker should look for this person in the city of Mournhold, in the dark elven homeland of Morrowind. Leave me now, dear listener. Deliver this information to your speaker, so that the will of Sithis may be fulfilled. All hail our dread father.
Attempting to interact with the statue again before the week is up gets us this message. You've already spoken to the Night Mother. You must take the information she gave you to Arkwin at the Shadenhall Sanctuary. After you have spoken to Arkwin, you may return to the Night Mother statue again in 1 week's time. There are a total of 19 different people whom the Night Mother can list out for us, as well as 15 different locations. I haven't been able to find out one way or another if the contracts are finite or not, meaning that once all 19 names are read, we can no longer get any more from the Night Mother. However, since nothing has said otherwise, it most likely is just a randomized name and location each week, and we're likely to hear the same names or locations repeated over and over again. Fast traveling back to the Sanctuary and speaking with Arkwin sounds like this.
Presence. So, the Night Mother has spoken. I will make sure this information reaches the appropriate family members. Ah yes, here are your weekly earnings. I will see you next week, most honorable listener. As the new listener of the Black Hand, it is your task to speak with the statue of the Night Mother and hear the words of our unholy matron. The statue, as you know, is located in the city of Breville. You may speak with the Night Mother once a week, and then pass that information on to me. Do that, and you will receive your share of this sanctuary's weekly earnings.
We receive our share of 200 gold, and are destined to repeat this process until the end of our days. With that, thus officially ends the questline of the Dark Brotherhood in the Elder Scrolls IV: Oblivion. The Sanctuary begins rebuilding, Arkwin takes up residence down here, and we see 3 new recruits wandering around as well.
Listener, I am a new initiate to the Dark Brotherhood, just a lowly murderer. But if there's any way I can serve you, any way at all, I'm yours. Yes, most revered listener, my bow is yours. Yes, honored listener, do you have orders for me? Yes, dear listener, I will wait in the sanctuary until you have further need of me. You're asking me about the Night Mother? Well, I mean, she is our unholy matron. She speaks to you. Sithis? Well, I am just a lowly murderer, but I know Sithis is our dread father. When we kill, we send him souls. Is that right?
It is an honor to speak with the living legend of the Dark Brotherhood. Your deeds are an inspiration to us all. Yes, most revered listener, my spells will serve Sithis until I lie cold and dead.
Oh, most honorable listener, I am so pleased to see you. Sorry, I don't mean to be nervous. It's just that, well, I am awed by your presence. Yes, most revered listener, my blade will rend the flesh at your command.
We can enlist any of these recruits as followers. Now, let's talk about the Dark Brotherhood. I thought this faction's questline was amazing and among one of the best, unsurprisingly. The story was fantastic. We had a really nice introduction into the guild. It was informative, eerie, and I especially like how it's a little more complicated than simply speaking with someone and asking to enlist. I thought the pacing was excellent. We begin a lowly murderer, carrying out easy assassinations, and as we progress in the guild, so does the difficulty of each scenario. I think the Purification was my favorite quest, as it really did come as quite a shock on the first playthrough I ever did. To hear that we needed to kill all of our newfound brothers and sisters was a bittersweet moment. Then we had the Dead Drops, which started out written by Lucien Lachance, and then they get taken over by Matthew Bellamont. We see really subtle changes in the handwriting and the parchment used, as well as breadcrumbs of Dark Brotherhood paraphernalia in some of the victims' homes, and that's all a part of what makes this game so great. The Lucien Lachance mutilation and the Matthew Bellamont reveal are all perfect in their own right too. I was really fond of the idea of bonuses for certain contracts. It was neat to know that if we wanted to go above and beyond, we would be rightfully compensated so. Some highlighted quests are Scheduled for Execution, The Assassinated Man, Whodunit, The Purification, Next of Kin, and Following a Lead. Now, as for what I wasn't a fan of. It's not much, but I feel as though the weaker parts of this questline, in my opinion, are the Dead Drop contracts. We don't get to interact with anyone from our guild anymore. We read a note that tells us everything we need to know, and it feels like some of the contracts could have been more creative. The Draconis assassinations were fantastic. We had a lot of freedom with how we went about doing those. But Chalice, Havelstein Horblood, and Keladane were too straightforward and didn't offer enough options, details, or backstory. A slight step up from those were Jagasta and Alvel, but the former attacked us right away after interacting with him. Alvel's was akin to the Sanctuary contract, so I can't complain too much about it. Ungolem's was fine, as it was the lead up to the second climax of the story, although if I am allowed to be overly picky, some dialogue would have been welcomed. The only other part I'm not a big fan of, and almost all of the factions are guilty of this, is how our ultimate reward for achieving the highest rank is being a messenger once a week. With the Dark Brotherhood, I understand it a little more as the listener is a sacred position and they wouldn't want to put us in harm's way. I guess it would have been nice though if once a week we could go on a simple contract that involved us going to a fort or some ruins, sneaking past marauders and taking out their leader or something of the sorts. Obviously, a more fleshed out and detailed contract would be better, but I understand they had limited resources and time crunches during development. Overall, I thought the Dark Brotherhood questline was fantastic and might have been the most fun I've had in a faction yet. It combined elements of the Fighters Guild and Thieves Guild to create the perfect love child. I'm extremely happy and thrilled to have gotten to experience it with you all, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity. Now it's time to continue with our journey elsewhere in Cyrodiil. Until next time, keep on adventuring.